Chapter 1472. Longao? Lu Yi was very curious. She didn't know why the Grand Elder had suddenly mentioned Longao. Master, it's like this. The Grand Elder gave her a rough summary of the information he had obtained. After hearing it, Lu Ye's expression changed slightly. The God Diviner. The three superpowers had joined hands to deal with Longao, causing the God Diviner to personally come. Let alone Lu Yi, anyone would be shocked by this. The God Diviner was the #1 expert of the Martial Heaven continent. Under normal circumstances, he rarely appeared in front of the world. Even if they were the top experts of the Martial Heaven continent, wanting to see the God Diviner was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Grand Elder, what do you think? Lu Yi thought about it. The Grand Elder said uncertainly, Master, the God Diviner came to the Sword Sect and favored Longao in front of everyone. According to my guess, if I'm not mistaken, the relationship between Longao and the God Diviner is not shallow. Not shallow. Lu Yi already knew what the Great Elder meant by these words. She shook her head. Lu Ye's voice was firm. I can say with certainty that there is no relationship between Longao and the God Diviner. No relationship? Master, the battle of the Sword Sect is very obvious. If there is no relationship between Longao and the God Diviner, why would the God Diviner favor Longao? It wasn't just the Grand Elder. No matter who it was, they would all think that there was a relationship between Longao and the God Diviner. The biggest reason was that the God Diviner had favored Longao in front of everyone. Great Elder, I know what you mean. Remember one thing, we only need to do one thing, and that is to wait and see. Since the Master had already said this, the Grand Elder had nothing else to say. Within the blood mist, Longao was using the firmament devouring art to crazily devour the blood mist. After 2 hours, he still didn't dare to stop. This was because Longao knew very well that as long as he stopped devouring the blood mist, there was no doubt that the blood mist would begin to corrode his body. Even the black tortoise armor would not be able to withstand it for too long. If this continued, it would not be a solution. What should I do? No matter how he thought about it, Longao could not think of a good way to destroy the blood fog. Once he was swallowed by the blood mist, there would only be one consequence, and that was to become the artifact spirit of the blood pool. Inside the Dantian. Even though Longao used the firmament devouring art to constantly devour the surrounding blood mist, there was still a lot of blood mist that entered his body and flowed into his Dantian. He was dead for sure this time. Longao knew better than anyone how powerful the blood mist was. In the end, he was still unable to resist the corrosion of the blood mist. Depressing. At this moment, at the most critical moment, Yi Zichen suddenly opened his mouth. The reincarnation pearl in Longao's Dantian suddenly spun crazily. It spun faster and faster, like a tornado, engulfing the entire Dantian. What was going on? Longao did not know what the reincarnation pearl was doing at this time, but he could not do anything in his current situation. The reincarnation pearl was simply a variable. The reincarnation pearl was the most precious treasure of the reincarnation clan. According to Xiling and Long Fu, only by obtaining the reincarnation pearl could one find the reincarnation clan. If he was really a member of the reincarnation clan, then he had to find the reincarnation clan. In other words, the only thing that Longao could not be sure of was whether he was a member of the reincarnation clan. He was helpless. He was also speechless. However, in the next moment, Longao's face lit up with joy because he did not expect that the reincarnation pearl in his Dantian would start to devour the blood mist that entered his Dantian. The devouring speed was not too fast. Even so, it only took a few minutes to devour all the blood mist that entered his Dantian. He finally heaved a sigh of relief. According to the current situation, even if he did not continue to use the celestial devouring skill to devour the surrounding blood mist, Longao did not have to be afraid of anything because even if the blood mist entered his body, it would be devoured by the reincarnation pearl and disappear without a trace. In that case, why did he have to do something unnecessary? Longao did not continue to use the celestial devouring skill. In this way, the surrounding blood mist began to invade Longao's body frantically like a flood. It was surging and could not be stopped. He had to admit that if it were not for the reincarnation pearl, Longao would not be able to resist the terrifying blood mist at all. Just as Longao expected. No matter how much blood mist entered his body, as long as it entered his dantian, it would be devoured by the reincarnation pearl. In this way, however much blood mist there was, it would be devoured. Yan Yu's self-destruction and the remaining blood mist in the blood pool could not be endless. There would be a time when the blood mist would finish invading. After about an hour, the blood mist finally stopped invading and disappeared. After the samsara bead finished swallowing the last of the blood mist, it did not stop spinning, causing Longao to be at a loss as to what to do. Under such circumstances, he had the heart but was powerless. He could only wait and see what the samsara bead meant. The spinning speed began to slow down. After about 10 minutes, the reincarnation pearl finally stopped spinning. However, there was no movement at all. It was as if nothing had happened just now. Huh! This time, Longao was a little confused. Before Longao came to his senses, the wordless heavenly book in his dantian appeared and opened a space door. Longao's figure also disappeared and entered the space of the wordless heavenly book. Senior, what happened to the reincarnation pearl just now? Longao did not know if the mysterious youth in front of him, who looked exactly like him, was his 100 reincarnation original body. If it was, then there was no doubt that the mysterious youth came from the reincarnation clan and was an expert of the reincarnation clan. If that was the case, Longao was almost certain that the mysterious youth must know about the reincarnation pearl. Longao, I really did not expect that you would be able to activate the reincarnation pearl in advance. Very good, very good. As expected, the mysterious youth did know about the reincarnation pearl. However, Longao did not say anything. At this time, he did not know what to say. He did not know why, but he always felt very passive, like a chess piece. As for the chess player, Longao had always thought that it was the divine mathematician. However, as time slowly passed and his vision became higher and higher, Longao also began to slowly realize that he really did not know who the so-called chess player was. For example, the mysterious youth in the wordless heavenly book was unfathomable. Longao, what I want to tell you is that even if you can activate the reincarnation pearl, your strength is far from enough. If you want to explore the secrets of the reincarnation clan and find them, I can tell you clearly that your current strength is not enough. Therefore, your top priority is to raise your strength to the peak of the martial Tao as quickly as possible. Chapter 1473. It was easier said than done to break through to the peak of martial arts. Even if Longao was full of confidence, he still knew his limits. According to his talent and cultivation speed, even if he broke through to the peak of martial arts within 10 years, it would still be a happy thing. He seemed to be able to see through Longao's thoughts. The mysterious youth said indifferently, "Go. When your cultivation has broken through to the peak of martial arts, I will tell you everything you want to know." Longao was about to ask, but when he heard the mysterious youth's words, he could only stop himself. He shrugged helplessly. Since the mysterious youth didn't want to say more, Longao didn't ask any more. He left the wordless heavenly book. Looking at the mountains around him, Longao was a little confused. Ever since he obtained the dragon seal, Longao didn't dare to rest at all. His cultivation speed was one of the best among his peers. In just a few years, he went from a trash in everyone's eyes to a god-king martial artist. He thought that he wasn't far from the peak. As long as he worked hard, he believed that he would soon break through to the peak of martial arts. In the end, along the way, as his strength grew stronger, Longao helplessly realized that no matter how high his cultivation rose, there would always be endless danger in front of him. Moreover, the peak didn't seem to be so close to him. The peak of martial arts. Was the peak of martial arts the end of martial arts? Not necessarily. Longao knew very well that the difference in strength between the marvelous mathematician and Tian Dao was very big. Although both of them were experts at the peak of martial arts, there was a difference in strength. Combined with the situation of the two, Longao could almost say that even the peak of martial arts wouldn't be so simple. He shook his head helplessly again. Longao didn't continue to dwell on it. He rushed at full speed towards the Jiuzhou continent. The Jiuzhou continent. In the Dragon Valley. Everyone in the Dragon sect heaved a sigh of relief when Longao returned smoothly. This was because the Battle of the Swords sect had become famous. Even with the deterrence of the marvelous mathematician, no one knew if the three superpowers would take the risk. From the looks of it, Master God Diviner's deterrence had worked. Currently, Longao was like a god in the Dragon sect. Not only did he cause havoc in the Wanshou sect, but he also fought against three superforces, the Long family, the Wanshou sect, and the Martial Artists Alliance. Other than Longao, how many people in the Sky Martial continent could do it? No one could do it. Ao, are you all right? Looking at his grandfather, parents, family, and brothers in front of him, Longao felt a trace of warmth in his heart. No matter where he went, as long as he was home, his heart would be at ease. As long as his family was safe, he was willing to pay any price. After listening to him, Longao nodded in agreement and said, Ao, your approach is very correct. No matter what, we cannot invite a Nirvana realm martial artist from outside to guard the sect. Otherwise, if something happens in the future, we will be in big trouble. If that was the case, how to develop the sect was the top priority. Longao was not thinking for himself. Because of the 1-year agreement with the three superforces, he was prepared to settle it himself. He could not implicate the sect. The reason why Longao was so anxious was mainly for the sake of his family. Because the stronger the family's strength, the more advantageous it would be for the family. After 1 year, the grudge between him and the three superforces would be settled. At that time, whether the clairvoyant master would favor him or not was still unknown. Taking a step back, if the clairvoyant master did not favor him, then wanting to fight the three superforces alone was simply a fool's dream. If he was unlucky and was killed by the three superforces, then if there were no accidents, the three superforces would definitely eliminate the roots and deal with his family. If that was really the case, then no one in the Dragon sect would be spared. This was what Longao was most concerned about. Ao, what are you going to do? Grandfather, let me think about it first. During this time, don't let anyone disturb me. No problem. Longao stood up and left. He did not continue to disturb Longao. After half an hour, everyone in the Dragon sect knew that the god in their hearts would not see anyone. The courtyard where he lived was also listed as a forbidden area by the Dragon sect. No one was allowed to enter the forbidden area. Those who violated the order would have to bear the consequences. In the courtyard, Longao sat alone on the stone bench and pondered quietly because he only had 1 year. After 1 year, not only would he have to develop his strength as soon as possible, even the Dragon sect would have to develop their strength as soon as possible. Therefore, in this 1 year, not only did he have to develop his strength as soon as possible, even the Dragon sect had to develop their strength as soon as possible. Again, it was not easy to have Nirvana realm warriors. After thinking about it, Longao came up with a solution, which was to go to the Massacre Abyss. After all, the 5 Abyss Lords of the Massacre Abyss were all genuine Nirvana realm warriors. With 5 Nirvana realm warriors guarding the Massacre Abyss, even the 3 superforces would be very afraid. However, Longao also had worries. After 1 year, if he died, would the 5 Abyss Lords still protect the sect? There was no doubt that if he was killed by the 3 superforces in a year, the first people to abandon the sect would be the 5 Abyss Lords. Not to mention, even now, he still did not know what the 5 Abyss Lords meant. Why would they submit to him for no reason? What would he do if they set him up at a critical moment? It was because of this that Longao immediately chose to give up on the 5 Abyss Lords after some consideration. He could not gamble, nor did he dare to gamble, because if there was even the slightest mistake, the consequences would be unthinkable. Let alone himself, the dragon's sect alone would be doomed. As for the Nirvana Realm warriors, according to his grandfather, only one person had broken through to the Nirvana Realm. Longao was pleasantly surprised, because Yu Yin's cultivation-based breakthrough indicated that Yu Yin had the power to protect herself. As long as she didn't encounter a Nirvana Realm warrior that was too powerful, Yu Yin's strength was more than enough to fight anyone. Longao was very worried about Yu Yin, because Yu Yin had left the dragon sect for the Martial Heaven continent in order to find him. If Yu Yin encountered the three superforces, Yu Yin would be in great danger. In the vast sea of people, no matter how worried Longao was, he didn't rashly leave for the Martial Heaven continent. Aimlessly searching for Yu Yin was too difficult. Since that was the case, it was better to stay here and wait. Longao sighed deeply in his heart. With all of these things added together, Longao was in a terrible fix. Whether it was his family's matter or Yu Yin's matter, he couldn't be the slightest bit careless. Otherwise, if he made the slightest mistake, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Master, let's not worry about the Nirvana Realm warriors for now. Why don't we refine a corpse slave army first? If we have an army of millions of corpse slaves, the three superforces may not dare to clash head-on in a year. I believe the three superforces will definitely not do something that will cause them to suffer losses. Hearing Long Fu's words, Longao thought about it. He felt that Long Fu's method might be the best method in this situation. It was almost impossible to settle the matter of the Nirvana Realm warriors within a year. Since that was the case, he might as well focus on refining a corpse slave army. In that case, the three superforces would definitely not dare to clash head-on. Long Fu, how many corpse slaves can you refine in a year? This was the most crucial question, because the more corpse slaves he refined, the safer the dragon sect would be. The three superforces wouldn't dare to make a move. Everything depended on Long Fu. After all, only Long Fu could refine corpse slaves. Chapter 1474. Master, if there are no accidents, I can refine an army of 3 million corpse slaves in a year. An army of 3 million corpse slaves. That was a terrifying number. Longao was very clear in his heart that as long as he could refine an army of 3 million corpse slaves in a year, even if there were 10 sides, they would definitely not dare to act rashly. An army of 3 million corpse slaves was enough to destroy everything. Thinking about it, Longao immediately stood up and found Long Haosher, and told him his thoughts. Ao, you just have to remember one thing. No matter when, we will support you unconditionally. Longao laughed. Longao did not stay in the Dragon Valley for long and quickly left. Even if the three superpowers wanted to deal with the Dragon Valley, they would first have to break the Sword Realm Chi barrier. In this world, other than the experts at the peak of martial arts, no one could break the Sword Realm. If he wanted to refine an army of corpse slaves, the only place he could go was the Spirit Beast Forest, or the Spirit Beast Mountain Range. The 9 provinces continent and the Sky Martial continent could not be compared. Thinking about it, in the end, Longao still decided to head to the Sky Martial continent. Firstly, the divine beasts in the Sky Martial continent far surpassed the divine beasts in the 9 provinces continent. Secondly, he could also inquire about Yu Yin's whereabouts. Sky Martial Forest. The Sky Martial Forest was the largest gathering place of spirit beasts in the Sky Martial continent. According to legends, there was a Nirvana divine beast guarding it. Whether it was true or not, no one knew. In order to refine an army of corpse slaves, the first place that Longao thought of was the so-called Sky Martial Forest. Just as he stepped into the Sky Martial Forest, Longao could clearly feel a wave of cold air continuously invading his body. He could not help but shiver. As expected of the Sky Martial Forest. As expected of the top place of all the spirit beasts in the Sky Martial continent. He did not hesitate at all. After all, he only had a year. The longer he delayed, the more disadvantageous it would be for him. In a year's time, he could not choose to give up, because every time he killed a divine beast, the corpse slave army would have one more member. According to Long Fu, as long as he was fast enough, he could refine an army of 3 million corpse slaves within a year. If he was faster, he might be able to refine even more corpse slaves. If he could refine one more corpse slave, it would be of great help to him and his family. Longao's cultivation had already successfully broken through to the Divine King realm. Killing divine beasts was simply an easy matter. Even if it was a supreme divine beast, as long as it was not a supreme divine beast or an emperor divine beast, even a divine emperor divine beast would be killed. As for the reincarnated doppelganger, Longao would not casually use the annihilation divine bow unless it was absolutely necessary. It was a simple logic. If the reincarnation doppelganger were to use the nirvana divine bow, he would definitely be able to annihilate his opponent. Given the combined power of Longao and his reincarnation avatar, they could do whatever they wanted unless they were facing a celestial emperor-level divine beast. A nirvana divine beast would not appear so casually. That was it. Longao used his fastest speed to kill the divine beasts of the sky martial forest. 1 divine beast, 2 divine beasts, 3 divine beasts, the number was constantly increasing. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, half a month had quietly passed. In just half a month, Longao and his reincarnation avatar had joined forces to kill hundreds of thousands of divine beasts. What kind of concept was that? If this matter was known by others, it would cause an uproar. Master, if it's just divine beasts alone, we can only refine 3 million divine beasts within a year. Why don't you kill other divine beasts as well? This way, if we're fast enough, we can refine an army of tens of millions of corpse slaves. An army of tens of millions of corpse slaves. Such a temptation, even Longao could not resist. Longao was very clear in his heart that the additional 7 million corpse slaves, even if they did not have the strength of divine beasts, their power was extremely terrifying. Even a supreme Tao warrior would not dare to casually go head-on against them. As the saying goes, 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. After thinking for a while, Longao finally agreed and nodded. He said, "You're right. Just refining divine beast corpse slaves is far from enough. Master, during this period of time, I will refine the corpse slaves as soon as possible. When the time comes, we can help you kill other divine beasts." Understood. Since things had already come to this, Longao certainly would not miss every opportunity. In this way, Longao continued to kill divine beasts and divine beasts. No matter how strong or weak they were, as long as they were divine beasts, he would kill them without hesitation. Just as Longao was killing divine beasts, he suddenly heard a scream. Out of curiosity, Longao immediately flew towards the direction of the scream. Under an ancient tree, a young girl retreated step by step. Her beautiful face was pale and filled with horror. Because less than 10 meters in front of the girl, 3 sky wolves were staring at her coldly. The meaning was very clear. There was no way to retreat. The girl found that she had already retreated to the side of the tree. If she wanted to take another step back, it would be as difficult as ascending to heaven. The girl's cultivation had just broken through to the heavenly god realm. The 3 sky wolves were also in the heavenly god realm. In a 1 versus 3 battle, the girl was defeated by the 3 sky wolves in less than 30 rounds. If it were not for the girl's fast speed, she would have become the 3 sky wolves' food. The sky wolves were only in the heavenly god realm and could not speak. However, the 3 sky wolves did not have the slightest pity. In the eyes of divine beasts, men and women were all the same. Because of this, the sky wolves would not hesitate to kill the girl and eat her directly if they had the chance. However, the 3 sky wolves did not immediately take action. No matter what, the girl was still in the heavenly god realm. If she chose to fight to the death, even if she died in the end, the 3 sky wolves would be unlucky as well. Looking for an opportunity, the 3 sky wolves' intelligence was not inferior to humans. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Perhaps it had found the best opportunity. The 3 sky wolves directly charged at the girl from 3 different directions. The result of the 3 sky wolves working together to deal with the girl was imaginable. Even if she knew that she could not defeat the 3 sky wolves, the girl had to bite the bullet. because she knew that she would definitely die in this battle. Unless her cultivation could continue to break through and reach the so-called Supreme Realm, she would not be able to defeat the 3 Sky Wolves in a 1 versus 3 battle. In the blink of an eye, the young girl and the 3 Sky Wolves once again engaged in a fierce battle. They exchanged blows back and forth, their figures constantly changing. In a situation of 1 versus 3, the young girl was defeated by the 3 Sky Wolves in less than 20 moves, her life hanging by a thread. The young girl seemed to have lost all hope and did not continue to resist. Just as the 3 Sky Wolves were about to kill the young girl, a figure suddenly shot out from the sky. The speed was unimaginably fast. Before the young girl could react, the 3 Sky Wolves that had been fierce and ferocious just a moment ago were sent flying like a kite with its string cut. Chapter 1475. She was shocked. The girl did not expect that someone would suddenly appear at this moment, killing 3 Sky Wolves in 1 move. What kind of concept was that? The young man was obviously a knowledgeable person. With 1 look, he could already guess that the person who came was at least in the Supreme Realm. He was overjoyed. Looking at the young man who descended from the sky, the girl seemed to be in a daze. The girl did not expect that the person who saved her and killed 3 Sky Wolves in 1 move would be such a young man. Is this real? Are you all right? His voice was cold. Longao's expression was calm. He was not moved by the girl's appearance at all. He was a little absent-minded. I'm fine. My name is Yingying. I don't know. What's your name? Longao. Longao? Yingying seemed to know Longao. She was shocked and said in surprise, So you are Longao. Thank you so much for saving me this time. If not for you, I would be. He waved his hand. Before Yingying could finish her sentence, Longao said indifferently, It's dangerous for you to stay in Sky Martial Forest alone. I advise you to leave as soon as possible. Longao did not help Yingying because she was a girl. Under such circumstances, no matter who it was, he would help. Can you wait? Longao, who was about to leave, immediately stopped when he heard this. He turned around. Looking at the girl in front of him, Longao asked, What's the matter? The more Longao acted like this, the more Yingying felt a strange feeling in her heart. It was as if there were tens of thousands of ants crawling in her heart. It was uncomfortable, but also pleasantly surprised. Yingying was very clear about her identity. For so many years, no matter which man saw her, they would stare at her with their eyes wide open. Only this Longao did not seem to care about her. Am I not pretty enough? Can't he see my appearance? Young Master Long, just call me by my name. Young Master Long? Every time he heard someone call him Young Master Long, Longao felt a deep pain in his balls. Brother Long, can I call you that? He nodded. Brother Long, I never thought that the Sky Martial Forest would be so dangerous. I'm afraid that I won't be able to leave the Sky Martial Forest alone. Without needing to ask further, Longao had already guessed what the girl in front of him wanted to say. Thinking about it, if he were to bring Yingying along, wouldn't he have to leave too? What if he left alone? Yingying had already said that Tianwu Forest was too dangerous. As the largest gathering place of spirit beasts in Tianwu continent, divine beasts could be seen everywhere. With Yingying's strength, staying in Sky Martial Forest would only result in death. Could it be that he was just going to wash his hands of this matter? Brother Long, you just need to bring me out of the Sky Martial Forest. Longao calculated the time and decided to bring Yingying out of the Sky Martial Forest. A round trip would take about a day. This way, he would be able to kill fewer divine beasts, which would be a huge hindrance in refining the corpse slave army. All right. With no other choice, Longao could only nod his head in agreement. Thank you, Brother Long, let's go. Nodding her head, Yingying followed behind Longao and left carefully. Sky Martial Forest was boundless. Even with Longao's speed, he still hadn't reached the deepest part of Sky Martial Forest in half a month, let alone going around the entire forest. There's someone here. Sky Marshal Forest was very dangerous. Under normal circumstances, it would be hard to meet martial artists in Sky Marshal Forest. However, there were martial artists who wanted to train and enter Sky Marshal Forest. Under normal circumstances, martial artists who entered Sky Marshal Forest would help each other. Sky Marshal Forest was filled with danger. Brother Long, it's one of us. One of us? Before Longao could continue speaking, dozens of people walked out from the left. The one at the front was a handsome young man with sharp eyebrows, big eyes, and an extraordinary appearance. Brother? Brother? Longao was surprised. He didn't expect that the handsome young man who just appeared was Yi Yingying's brother. Yingying, are you all right? I'm fine. Brother, this is Longao, Brother Long. If it wasn't for Brother Long, I would have been killed by the 3 sky wolves. In the following time, Yi Yingying recounted what happened in detail. After listening to the story, Yi Wuheng was also surprised. He looked at Longao and said with a smile, I'm Yi Wuheng. Thank you for saving my sister. Brother Long. Brother Long's name resounds like thunder in my ears. Longao had caused havoc in the Wanshou sect, the Martial Artists Alliance, the Long family, and especially the Battle in the Sword sect. Longao's name had spread far and wide. It could be said that everyone in Sky Marshal Continent knew about him. Before Longao could speak, Yi Wuheng continued, We're from the Purple Thunder sect. Purple Thunder sect? Hearing Yi Wuheng say that he and Yi Yingying were from the Purple Thunder sect, Longao was shocked. He wasn't unfamiliar with the Purple Thunder sect in the slightest. Without a doubt, the Purple Thunder sect was one of the 10 Directions tripod. Although their strength was at the bottom, being able to be one of the 10 Directions tripod already spoke volumes. The Tianwu continent consisted of the 10 Directions tripod, the Long family, the Pill Alliance, the Martial Arts Alliance, the Myriad Beast sect, the Heaven and Earth sect, the 5 Elements sect, the Myriad Formation sect, the Sword sect, the Purple Thunder sect, and the Black Heaven sect. The Purple Thunder sect and the other 3 great sects, Wanzhan School, Sword sect, and Profound Heaven sect, were known as the 4 great sects. So you're from the Purple Thunder sect. Sorry for the disrespect. Under certain circumstances, Longao wasn't willing to have any dealings with the 10 Directions tripod. Because, as he slowly came into contact with them, he discovered a strange thing. The 10 Directions tripod were all shameless existences that prioritized benefits above all else. Once you lost your benefits, the 10 Directions tripod wouldn't hesitate to act against you. Not only that, they would use all sorts of shameless methods to deal with you. Sometimes, the 10 Directions tripod couldn't even compare to some small sects, being open and above board. However, since things had already reached this point, and he felt that Yi Yingying's character wasn't bad, Longao didn't leave immediately. Facting. Yi Feng, shut up. Yi Feng, who was standing behind Yi Wuheng, pursed his lips, a look of unwillingness on his face. Yi Feng could be considered the most outstanding disciple of the Purple Thunder sect. He had already broken through to the God King realm at such a young age. Other than Yi Wuheng and a few others, Yi Feng could be considered the strongest disciple. It's true, what are you acting for? Yi Feng wasn't convinced. No matter how great Longao's fame was, in Yi Feng's eyes, it was worthless. Many people in the Tianwu continent knew that the reason why Longao was able to counterattack so many times was because of his powerful soul. Otherwise, who knew how many times Longao would have died? It was precisely because of this that Yi Feng felt that Longao was only a god king. He didn't place Longao in his eyes at all. In Yi Feng's eyes, even though they were both god kings, his strength far surpassed Longao's. Yi Feng, that's enough. You're too impudent. Yi Wuheng was clearly the leader of the group. However, when Yi Feng looked at Longao, his eyes were filled with disdain and ridicule. He didn't place Longao in his eyes at all. Eldest senior brother, I'm very grateful that Longao saved junior sister. However, I really can't stand his high and mighty attitude. What's the point of acting? It's disgusting. Yi Feng, do you still want face? Before Yi Yingying could finish her words, Longao waved his hand, stopping Yi Yingying. He smiled and said, "Brother Yifeng?" "Humph." Yifeng only snorted coldly, as if he couldn't be bothered with Longao. He didn't care, he didn't place Yifeng's disdain in his eyes. After so many years, Longao had seen too much disdain and contempt. If he was angered every time, wouldn't he have died long ago? "Although I don't know how I provoked you, I'm just saying, who do you think you are? So what if I'm high and mighty? In my eyes, you're just trash." Longao didn't show the slightest trace of politeness. "If people respect me, I'll respect them tenfold. It's a matter of reciprocity. If Yifeng was the one who made a mistake, he wouldn't accept the other party's mistake." Yifeng was furious. He never thought that Longao would humiliate him in front of everyone. It was a complete provocation. It was simply unbearable. Even if the secret cave could bear it, the chrysanthemum couldn't bear it. Before Yifeng could rage, he was already stopped by Yi Wuheng. At this moment, Yi Wuheng's face was extremely gloomy. It wasn't because Longao humiliated Yifeng, but because Yifeng didn't give him face. This matter couldn't be blamed on Longao. "Yifeng, I've just said that you're too presumptuous. If you insist on doing this, don't blame me for being ruthless." Seeing that Yi Wuheng was really angry, even Yifeng was a little dumbfounded. He didn't know why his senior brother was so biased towards Longao. No matter what, Yi Wuheng was a peak hierarch expert. He was only one step away from officially becoming a god emperor. Although Yifeng didn't put Longao in his eyes, he was very afraid of Yi Wuheng. Even if he was unhappy in his heart, he could only endure it. "Brother Long, I'm sorry. It's my fault for disciplining him. It's fine. Who doesn't have a few disobedient dogs?" Fuck, Longao's words were ruthless. If Yifeng wasn't suppressed by Yi Wuheng, he would have been furious. Not to mention Yifeng, no one would be able to endure it. However, Longao didn't do it on purpose. Yifeng obviously didn't like him. If he didn't act tough, wouldn't he be provoked by Yifei? "Brother Long, thank you very much this time. May I know what Brother Long wants to do next? Do you have something to say?" Longao was a little vigilant. Because in the end, he didn't get along with these people. If it wasn't for Yi Yingying, he wouldn't have wasted his breath on Yi Wuheng and the others. "Brother Long, I have a presumptuous request. I hope that Brother Long can help me." Longao didn't immediately agree because he didn't know what Yi Wuheng wanted him to do. He asked cautiously, "What's the matter?" Of course, Yi Wuheng was able to guess what Longao was thinking. He gravely said, "Brother Long, to tell you the truth, the reason why we entered the Sky Martial Forest is mainly for the Purple Lightning Divine Beast." Chapter 1476. According to Yi Wuheng, the Purple Lightning Divine Beast was a divine beast that possessed the power of lightning. It was extremely powerful. As for why Yi Wuheng and the others wanted the Purple Lightning Divine Beast, no one mentioned it. Since no one said anything, Longao did not ask. Go? Or not? Under normal circumstances, Longao would definitely not agree. After all, he still had many things to do. His main goal in entering the Sky Martial Forest was to kill divine beasts and refine corpse slaves. If he followed Yi Wuheng and the others to search for the Purple Lightning Divine Beast, wouldn't he be wasting his time? "I also want to see the Purple Lightning Divine Beast." Longao had already agreed. Longao originally did not want to go, but Long Fu sent a spiritual sense transmission to Longao, telling Longao that the Purple Thunder Divine Beast was of great help to his cultivation. There was no doubt about it. Yi Wuheng smiled and said, "Thank you. If we can successfully obtain the Purple Lightning Divine Beast, I will definitely thank Brother Long." Longao did not say anything else. The group turned around and left. Yifeng coldly looked at Longao behind him. His heart was filled with anger. If there was a chance, he would not hesitate to kill Longao. "Brother Long, Yifeng has no ill intentions. Please don't be offended." Yifeng smiled. From the beginning to the end, Longao did not put Yifeng in his eyes. So what if Yi Feng was a divine king? It's fine. After thinking for a while, Longao continued. Ying, you came to the Sky Martial Forest this time mainly for the Purple Lightning Divine Beast? Yes, we found the Purple Lightning Divine Beast with great difficulty. Unfortunately, the Purple Lightning Divine Beast was too powerful. Big Brother and I were separated. Fortunately, you appeared in time. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. According to Yi Wuheng, the Purple Lightning Sacred Beast they were looking for this time was an ultimate God Realm Divine Beast. Among the group, only Yi Wuheng's cultivation had broken through to the ultimate God Realm. If the rest were to encounter the Purple Lightning Sacred Beast, only death awaited them. What do you need the Purple Lightning Divine Beast for? If it were anyone else, Yi Ying would definitely not tell them. However, Yi Ying wouldn't hide anything from Longao. Big Brother Long, to tell you the truth, the reason we came here to look for the Purple Thunder Divine Beast is mainly for the Purple Chi from the East. Purple Chi from the East? What was that? As if she could guess what Longao was thinking, Yi Ying smiled and said, Big Brother Long, you don't know. Every Purple Thunder mythical beast is a rare beast of heaven and earth. Their bodies contain the Eastern Purple Chi. If we devour the Eastern Purple Chi, it will be of great help to our cultivation. So that was the case. Longao finally understood why Long Fu wanted him to search for the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. If he was not mistaken, Long Fu wanted him to absorb the Eastern Purple Aura. After all, Yi Ying had just said that the Eastern Purple Aura was very helpful to a warrior's cultivation. Brother Long, if you can get the Purple Chi from the East, you can also devour it. A kind-hearted girl. Longao had a good impression of Yi Ying. Ying, the Sky Martial Forest is boundless. How did you determine the location of the Purple Thunder Divine Beast? Longao was very clear in his heart. Since Yi Wuheng and the others had entered the Sky Martial Forest, they definitely had a way to determine the location of the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. Otherwise, the Sky Martial Forest was so big, wanting to find the Purple Thunder Divine Beast was like looking for a needle in the ocean. The Purple Thunder Divine Beast was an extremely rare divine beast. In the entire Sky Martial continent, it was unknown if there were more than 10 Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. It seemed like there was something that was hard to say. Yi Ying looked at her brother who was walking in front and said helplessly, Big Brother Long, I'm sorry. This is a secret of the Purple Thunder sect. I can't tell you. There was no anger. There was no unhappiness. Longao knew very well how to determine the location of the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. If she could tell him, Yi Ying would definitely not hide it from him. Brother Long, if I'm not wrong, the Purple Thunder Divine Beast should be in the valley ahead. He seemed surprised. It seemed like his guess was right. Yi Wuheng and the others were able to determine the location of the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. Brother Yi, forgive me for asking you. The Purple Thunder Divine Beast is an ultimate God Divine Beast. It seems like it will be difficult for you to kill the Purple Thunder Divine Beast alone. Other than Yi Wuheng, who was a godly venerable, the rest of them could be ignored as none of them had broken through the godly venerable realm, including Yi Ying. Because of this, Longao was very puzzled. Could it be that Yi Wuheng was so confident that he could fight the Purple Thunder Divine Beast alone? If that was the case, Yi Wuheng and the others wouldn't have been able to find the Purple Thunder Divine Beast, and cause Yi Ying to get lost and almost be killed by the 3 Sky Wolves. Yi Wuheng didn't say anything and Longao didn't take the initiative to ask either. Brother Long, there's something you don't know. The sect gave me a divine weapon to deal with the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. It's a pity that my companions have all fallen and I can't trap the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. Wanting to kill it is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Longao finally knew that the Purple Thunder Divine Beast wasn't the only ultimate God Realm cultivator that the Purple Thunder sect sent this time. It was just that the other ultimate God Realm cultivators had all fallen, and only Yi Wuheng was left. It seemed like the Purple Thunder Divine Beast's strength was not to be underestimated. Brother Long, I've heard of your great name. I hope that Brother Long can help me deal with the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. As the saying goes, A man's life is like a tree's shadow. Longao had caused havoc in the three super forces and managed to escape unscathed time and time again with just luck and divine sense. Could he really escape safely every time? I'll do my best. Ignoring Yifeng's cold gaze, Longao laughed in his heart. In this world there were so many people who wanted to offend you. If you didn't provoke them, they would provoke you instead. Because of this, Longao's principle was to not offend others if they didn't offend him. If they wanted to offend him, he would offend them. Big brother, what should we do now? Ying was very afraid of the purple thunder divine beast because she was almost killed by the three-headed sky wolf because of the purple thunder divine beast. This time, there must be no mistakes. Yi Wuheng was also very clear about his sister's worries. After thinking for a while, he said solemnly, "This time, we must succeed in one strike. No matter what, we can't let the purple thunder divine beast escape." Full of confidence, no one dared to guarantee that they would succeed. No matter what was said, the purple thunder divine beast's strength was there for all to see. Especially when the purple thunder divine beast was able to mobilize the power of the lightning of heaven and earth. "Brother Long, why don't we enter the valley first and scout the situation?" "Big brother, I want to go too." Yi Feng immediately stood up with a firm expression. Chapter 1477. Thinking about it, looking at Yi Fei's determined face, Yi Wuheng nodded his head in agreement. Longao did not have much of an objection either. Just like that, the others continued to stay where they were, while Longao and the other two entered the valley. The entire valley was shrouded in black mist. The moment the three of them stepped in, they could clearly feel the terrifying aura of thunder and lightning. "The two of you, be careful. The purple thunder beast can manipulate the power of thunder and lightning. Don't get locked on by the purple thunder beast. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble." To be able to manipulate the power of thunder and lightning, the purple thunder beast was not to be underestimated. Yi Fei and Longao nodded their heads respectively. The three of them cautiously walked into the depths of the valley with 120% focus. One step, one step, one step, one step, one step, the black mist was shrouded in purple mist. "Brother Yi, this is the purple thunder beast?" Just in front of the three people, there were two divine beasts, one big and one small. The divine beasts looked like horses. Actually, without guessing, Longao already knew that the two divine beasts in front of him, one big and one small, were definitely the so-called purple thunder divine beasts. Nodding his head, Yi Wuheng seemed to be very excited as he said excitedly, "To think that there would be a cub here! If we can get this cub, we'll be rich!" For some reason, the big purple thunder beast's aura was weak. It was obvious that it was severely injured. And it was because of this that Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng were pleasantly surprised. The small purple thunder beast cried out in pain as it laid in front of the big purple thunder beast with a pitiful look. "Brother Long, thank you for your help this time. I can give you 10% of the purple chi from the east later on." "Big senior brother, you can't do that!" Hearing Yi Wuheng's words, Yi Feng was taken aback. He knew clearly what the purple chi from the east meant. Why would he give 10% of the purple chi from the east to Longao for free? In Yi Feng's opinion, Longao did nothing. It was like a pie falling from the sky. "Eldest brother," said Meng Hao, "Longao only followed us in. If we can get 1/10 of violet chi from the east just like that, then our dead fellow brothers and sisters, as well as our fellow brothers and sisters in the outer sect, would be bitterly disappointed. Not to mention the people who had died, there were dozens of people who had stayed behind." Yi Feng was reluctant to part with 1/10 of the purple chi from the east. He sneered in his heart. "Yi Feng, what if I want half of purple chi from the east?" This time, not only Yi Feng, even Yi Wuheng seemed to be a little angry. This was because Yi Wuheng had never imagined that Longao would suddenly say such a thing. How could he give away half of the purple chi from the east for nothing? Regardless of whether the others were willing or not, he would definitely not agree. Before Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng could speak, all of a sudden, Longao smiled and said, "Brother Yi, I was only joking earlier. It's good that you're joking. A person's reputation is like the shadow of a tree. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't afraid of Longao. Until now, Yu Wuheng was still very afraid of Longao and was trying his best to rope in Longao. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given away 1/10 of the purple chi from the east for nothing. Yi Feng, go and deal with the purple thunder beast. Yi Feng was not a fool, of course he knew what Yu Wuheng meant. Although the big purple thunder beast looked wounded and weak, a skinny camel was still bigger than a horse. If the purple thunder beast went crazy in the end, wouldn't he be in trouble? Cannon fodder. He cursed fiercely in his heart. Even if there were 10,000 anger and displeasure in his heart, since things had already come to this, Yi Feng could only grit his teeth and take a step forward. Just as he stepped out, Yi Feng immediately retreated. Yi Feng, what's wrong? His face was somewhat gloomy. Yu Wuheng didn't know what Yi Feng meant. Why did he go out and come back for no reason? Could it be that he was unwilling? Yu Wuheng also wasn't completely confident. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Yi Feng deal with the purple thunder beast, but would have personally dealt with the purple thunder beast. Eldest senior brother, I have a few words, but I don't know if I should say it. Say it. Yi Feng looked at Longao, who was standing beside Yu Wuheng, snorted and said, Eldest senior brother, although you're the one in charge here, I'm not convinced. Continue. Yu Wuheng's face became even more gloomy because he didn't know what Yi Feng meant. Why did he suddenly say that out of nowhere? Eldest senior brother, Longao is just an outsider. He didn't do anything, but he got 1/10 of the purple chi from the east for no reason. I'm not convinced. So that's it. Without waiting for Yu Wuheng to speak, Longao asked with interest. What do you want? Longao, in this world, there's no such thing as a free lunch. If you want 1/10 of the purple chi from the east, then you have to deal with the 2 purple thunder beasts. Yu Wuheng didn't say anything, which meant that he agreed with Yi Feng. Because in Yu Wuheng's opinion, if he had to choose between Longao and Yi Feng, he would definitely choose Yi Feng and not Longao. The reason was simple. For Yu Wuheng, Yi Feng was always one of his own people, but Longao was not. Longao went to test the 2 purple thunder divine beasts. If something happened, he could also be prepared. If Longao died, it would not be bad for him. Seeing that Yu Wuheng didn't say anything, Longao already knew what he meant. He hated this kind of people the most. However, Longao didn't get angry. He smiled and said, No problem, but I'll say it now. Since I'm the one who ordered the 2 purple thunder beasts, then I want half of the purple chi from the east. Half of the purple chi from the east. Hearing this, Yu Wuheng and Yi Feng's face turned ugly. Longao, you're really greedy. Yi Feng waved his hand. Before Yi Feng could finish his words, Longao said, Cut the crap. Yi Feng, don't think that you're something. In my eyes, you're nothing. Half of the purple chi from the east is what I deserve. Without giving the 2 a chance to speak, Longao took a step forward and walked towards the 2 purple thunder beasts. Even Longao was cautious because no one knew whether the purple thunder divine beast would fight to the death in the end. Once the purple thunder divine beast fought to the death, it would really be a troublesome matter. Moreover, Longao didn't want to let the 2 off so easily. He walked step by step carefully. Big brother, Longao is too arrogant. Yi Feng clenched his fists tightly. If it wasn't for his big brother, he would have already attacked. Shaking his head, Yu Wuheng sneered and said, Longao is very useful to us. If we can refine him into a puppet, we'll have a very good helper. So big brother already has a plan. I miscalculated. Yi Feng was suddenly happy. He was really afraid that his big brother would stand on Longao's side and deal with him. Chapter 1478. Black fog shrouded the surroundings. The 2 purple thunder divine beasts didn't seem to have any strength to resist. Even when Longao was close to them, the 2 purple thunder divine beasts still didn't move. Heartbroken, raising its head in grief, seeing Longao slowly approaching, the smaller purple thunder divine beast howled. Without a doubt. The smaller purple thunder divine beast was obviously trying to protect its mother. Its eyes were filled with hatred, but it was more of an instinct to protect its mother. He couldn't bear it. If it was an ordinary divine beast, Longao wouldn't have shown any mercy. Only in this situation, if he insisted on making a move, would he still be human? He was in a dilemma. Longao was very clear that if he didn't make a move, Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng would definitely make a move. In the end, the two purple thunder divine beasts would still die. What should he do? Longao had already decided not to kill the two purple thunder divine beasts. Not only would he not make a move, even if it was Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng, he would still stop them. However, Longao didn't want to create unnecessary trouble for himself. No matter what, the Purple Thunder sect was still one of the top 10 sections. Its strength and foundation were there for all to see. Now that he and the other 3 super sects were in a situation where it was either you die or I die. If he continued to provoke the Purple Thunder sect, it would only make the situation more difficult. What should he do to make this matter flawless, such that even the two of them couldn't see through it? Senior brother, Longao isn't making a move, what should we do? Yi Wuheng laughed in disdain. Yi Wuheng said contemptuously, I thought Longao was some kind of genius. Seeing him in person is really not as good as hearing his reputation. In Yi Wuheng's view, the reason why Longao didn't dare to make a move was because he was afraid of the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. If it was the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts in their prime, it would be fine. But now, the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts were obviously in a half-dead state. Not to mention a God King Realm expert, even a Divine Realm expert could easily deal with the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. Trash. Trash. His reputation was in vain. In the beginning, Yi Wuheng was very afraid of Longao, but now that things had come to this point, Yi Wuheng's position in Longao's heart plummeted and even fell to the bottom. Eldest senior brother, what should we do now? Let's wait and see. As if he had thought of something, Yi Wuheng said with a smile. If we capture Longao and hand him over to the Long family, the Martial Artists Alliance, or the Wanshou sect, do you think they will thank us? Definitely. Yi Wuheng did not continue speaking. Instead, he looked at the figure not far away with great interest. You two keep those two busy. Longao had already thought of a way, and that was to borrow the strength of the two little fellows, and thus silently place the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. In the next second, Long Chang and Long Ming's figures had already arrived behind Yi Wuheng. Before the two of them could react, the two little fellows had already attacked. Their attacks were vicious. If the two of them did not react in time, they would probably die. As an ultimate god warrior, Yi Wuheng's reaction was also very good in addition to his own strength. He immediately turned around and attacked. Even so, the two of them were almost killed by the two little fellows. The opportunity had come. Longao did not hesitate in the slightest. With a stride, he arrived in front of the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. He directly swept the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts away, and he also disappeared. Longao disappeared smoothly. Long Ming and Long Chang did not continue to stay. Their mission was to stall Yi Wuheng and Long Chang to create an opportunity for their eldest brother. Now that their eldest brother had left, there was no need for them to continue fighting. The two little fellows turned around and left. They were very fast and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Looking at the gradually disappearing figures, the two of them were a little dumbfounded. What happened just now? Big brother, the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts are gone. Longao, who had just left, used spatial teleportation to instantly return to his original position. Until now, the two of them did not know that this was Longao's doing. Longao, where are the Purple Thunder Divine Beasts? The two of them took a big stride and arrived beside Longao. Looking at the empty ground in front of them, their faces were filled with extreme anger. Under their noses, the two Purple Thunder Divine Beasts had disappeared without a trace. Was this true? Helplessly shrugging his shoulders, Longao said with an innocent expression, I also don't know what happened just now. Just now, someone attacked me. I resisted with all my strength and managed to preserve my life. However, the two purple thunder divine beasts have already disappeared. Lying through his teeth. If it was any other thing, the two of them would definitely not believe it. Only now, because they were also attacked just now, they also did not see the other party's appearance. Yi Feng snorted in disdain and said contemptuously, "Longao, your reputation is so big. I thought you were the real deal. I never thought." Speaking until here, Yi Feng did not continue, but the meaning of his words was very clear. Contempt. It was a blatant disdain. "Brother Yi, I think the two purple thunder divine beasts have not left the valley. Why don't we continue to search?" After the incident in the valley, Yi Wuheng's attitude towards Longao had obviously changed. However, Yi Wuheng was not a fool. Even if Longao was not as strong as the legend said, it would not be good for anyone if they had a falling out. Still the same words, they entered the valley this time to find the purple thunder divine beasts. There was no need to find other troubles. However, Longao could clearly feel the change in his attitude. Without the slightest suggestion, Longao was very clear about the rules of survival in this world. If you have the strength, no matter where you go, you will eat well. If you don't have the strength, no matter where you go, you will be looked down upon by others. It was like this in the past, and it is still like this now. Let's go. The two of them would never have thought that the person talking to them was not the real Longao, but Longao's doppelganger, which was the so-called reincarnation doppelganger. If the two of them knew, they would be angered to death. Because Longao dared to take away the two purple thunder divine beasts right under their noses. He did not put them in his eyes at all. Inside the valley, there was a very hidden place surrounded by black fog. Looking from afar, there was black fog everywhere. It was impossible to see the figures of Longao and the two purple thunder divine beasts clearly. Woo 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 woo. There was no need for translation. Longao already knew what the little purple thunder divine beast was saying. It was nothing more than thanking him. Just now, Longao had already sensed that the big purple thunder divine beast was obviously not going to live. According to Longao's communication, the big purple thunder divine beast hoped to impart all of its power to its son. In that case, it could die without regrets. The reason why it did not do so was because it was worried that it would be taken advantage of. Chapter 1479. The purple thunder divine beast's meaning was very simple. He wanted Longao to help. Since things were already like this, how could Longao not agree? Nodding his head. "I promise you." Just as he finished speaking, the big purple thunder beast closed its eyes and turned into a bolt of lightning, entering the body of the small purple thunder beast. With enough time, the little guy would be able to surpass his mother and become a powerful purple thunder beast. In the following time, Longao sat on the ground and waited quietly. He knew that even if Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng were exhausted, they wouldn't be able to find the two purple thunder beasts. About 6 hours later, Yi Wuheng and Yi Feng left the valley gloomily. Even with divine tools, they couldn't locate the two purple thunder beasts. As for the other purple thunder beasts, who knew where they were? More importantly, of these two purple thunder divine beasts, one was a cub, while the other was already heavily injured. Such a rare opportunity had been wasted just like that. It was very depressing. Seeing the three of them return empty-handed, everyone was shocked. However, they didn't care much about it. The purple thunder beast was extremely powerful. Otherwise, the purple thunder sect wouldn't have lost so many experts and couldn't even catch one purple thunder beast. "Senior brother, you failed?" Before Yi Wuheng could say anything, Yi Feng had already snorted coldly by the side. "If it wasn't for Longao, I believe we would have succeeded." "Longao?" Everyone looked at Longao. They wanted to know what happened in the valley. At this time, Yi Wuheng waved his hand and said with a smile, "It's just a misunderstanding." "Yi Feng, shut up." Yi Feng wanted to say something, but since Yi Wuheng had said so, he could only swallow his words. "Big brother, even if we failed this time, we still have another chance. There are at least 10 purple thunder beasts in the Sky Martial Forest. I don't believe that we can't succeed this time. Ying is right. Yi Wuheng doted on his sister a lot. Sorry, I have something to do. I can't go with you. Without giving Yi Wuheng any chance to speak, Longao continued. Ying, come here. Ying was pleasantly surprised, but she did not show it. Ying followed Longao to the side. Come back. Being stopped by Yi Wuheng, Yi Feng was very depressed. He said, Eldest senior brother, Longao obviously has bad intentions towards Ying. I'm afraid that Ying will suffer. Harboring evil intentions? Yi Wuheng wasn't a fool. He could clearly sense that Longao didn't have any feelings for his sister. Similarly, Longao did not have the slightest bit of malice towards his own sister. No matter what, Longao saved Ying's life. Eldest senior brother. Enough, Yi Feng. The bigger picture is more important. The words "the big picture is important" were like a huge mountain pressing down on Yi Feng. Yi Feng could only swallow his anger. However, his gaze towards Longao became even colder. Big brother Long, are you looking for me? Nodding his head, Longao had a good impression of Ying. It wasn't a good impression between a man and a woman, but a good impression between a big brother and a little sister. Ying, what I'm telling you now, don't tell anyone. Remember, not even your big brother. Do you understand? Although she didn't know what Longao meant, Ying still nodded her head obediently and said, Don't worry, big brother Long. I won't tell anyone. Yi Feng smiled again. Ying, to be honest, I'm the one behind this. Your big brother didn't get the Purple Thunder Divine Beast, but I got the cub. Longao roughly explained the situation of the 2 Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. He didn't mention the reincarnation clone and the 2 little guys. Longao had been thinking about how to deal with the little guy. With his current situation, it wasn't suitable to bring the little guy around. Moreover, the little guy was a Purple Thunder Divine Beast. Even if it followed him, it wouldn't be of much use. The Purple Thunder Divine Beast could only be used by the disciples of the Purple Thunder sect. After thinking about it, Longao finally thought of a person. It was the person he saved before, Ying. He could see that Ying was a kind girl. If the little guy followed Ying, it would definitely lead a good life. Ying was shocked. If it wasn't for Longao informing her beforehand, she would have cried out in shock. Big brother Long, if the little guy follows me, my big brother will know about this sooner or later. I won't hide it from you. The Purple Thunder Divine Beast is very helpful to the cultivation of our Purple Thunder sect's disciples. Big brother's cultivation has already reached the peak of Hierarch Realm. He's only one step away from breaking through the bottleneck and reaching the God Emperor Realm. She felt helpless and worried at the same time. According to Father and the Elders, if Big Brother can obtain enough Purple Chi from the East, not only can he break through to the God Emperor Realm, he can even reach the Nirvana Realm. So that's how it is. Ying, I don't understand. Since the Purple Chi from the East is so important to the Purple Thunder sect, why don't the Nirvana Realm cultivators act personally? The Purple Thunder Divine Beast was merely a supreme divine beast. In front of Nirvana Realm cultivators, it was nothing but a joke. As long as the Purple Thunder sect sent out a single Nirvana Realm cultivator, they could easily kill all the Purple Thunder Divine Beasts. After all, Ying had already said that as long as there was enough Purple Chi from the East, not only would Yi Wuheng be able to break through to the God Emperor Realm, he would even be able to borrow the Purple Chi from the East to break through to the Nirvana Realm. Nirvana Realm cultivators were the most important existences in the Purple Thunder sect and other sections. Big brother Long, there's something you don't know. I once heard from my father that the Sky Martial Forest is the headquarters of the Violet Thunder Divine Beasts. Although there are only over 10 Violet Thunder Divine Beasts, the Patriarch of the Violet Thunder Divine Beasts is a Nirvana Divine Beast, and his strength is extremely tyrannical. If a Nirvana Realm cultivator enters the Sky Martial Forest, especially a Nirvana Realm cultivator from my Violet Thunder sect, there's no way he would be able to escape the senses of the Nirvana Divine Beast. How strong exactly was a Nirvana divine beast? Longao was clearer than anyone else by 10,000 times. Longao grew even more curious. Even if that's the case, this time you guys entered the Sky Martial Forest to deal with the Purple Thunder divine beasts. Could it be that the Nirvana divine beast won't act? Laughing, Ying confidently replied, Big Brother Long, you don't know the temperament of this patriarch. Father once said that this patriarch loves to sleep. Sometimes he would sleep for years, or even tens of years. As long as he doesn't sense the Nirvana chi, this patriarch won't wake up. Hence, when we enter the Sky Martial Forest, this patriarch doesn't even know we are here. How could he possibly act against us? So that's the case. Longao also didn't expect that the patriarch of the Purple Thunder Divine Beast clan would actually love to sleep so much. Chapter 1480. What if the Nirvana Divine Beast wakes up and finds out that its tribesmen are missing? Aren't you afraid that it will seek revenge? Of course. Ying smiled and continued. I wonder who did this to the Nirvana Divine Beast and who will seek revenge. Without waiting for Longao to speak, Ying continued. Although the Nirvana Divine Beast is strong, our Purple Thunder sect isn't weak either. Just the Nirvana Divine Beast alone wouldn't dare to come to our Purple Thunder sect. He nodded in agreement. The Sky Martial Continent was one of the 10 major powers. The Purple Thunder sect was one of the 10 major powers. Whether it was strength or background, they were all there. Not to mention one Nirvana Divine Beast, even if there were 3 or even 5 Nirvana Divine Beasts, they wouldn't dare to recklessly go to the Purple Thunder sect. Ying, let the little guy follow you first. Be careful and don't let others find out. Ying nodded. If someone else gave her the Purple Thunder Divine Beast, Ying would hand it over without hesitation. The reason was simple. Ying knew very well how important the Purple Chi from the East was to her big brother's cultivation. Except for Longao. Only Longao gave her the Purple Thunder Divine Beast. No matter who it was, even if her big brother asked for it personally, she would refuse without hesitation. Even if it meant sacrificing her life, she wouldn't hesitate. After giving a few simple instructions, Longao didn't continue. A few minutes later, looking at the dozens of figures gradually disappearing, Longao didn't leave alone. He was more or less worried. Although Yu Wuheng had the help of the Purple Thunder sect's divine weapon, they were facing dozens of Purple Thunder divine beasts. If they let their guard down, all of them would die. Longao didn't care whether Yu Wuheng and the others died or not. The only person he cared about was Ying. He didn't know why, but he had a good impression of this little girl when he first met her. She was like his own little sister. It was because of this. Longao even gave up on killing the divine beasts and followed them. The Sky Martial Continent was divided into 5 major plates. They were the Eastern Continent, Western Regions, Southern Sea, Northern Plains, and Middle Sky Martial Continent. Western Regions. Of the 5 major continents, the strongest was the Tianwu Continent, followed by the Southern Sea Continent, followed by the Western Region Continent. Yin followed Hades into the Western Continent. Unknowingly, an entire month had passed. Hades's attitude had undergone a complete change. He was now fully committed to helping Yin with her cultivation. Yin's physique was very special. Her cultivation speed was faster than others, much faster than others. In a short few years, Yin had advanced triumphantly all the way from a Xiantian realm martial artist to directly break through to the Nirvana realm. Even Longao couldn't compare to such a cultivation speed. 5 stages of Nirvana. In ascending order, their strength was divided into heaven and earth comprehension, unity of heaven and man, heavenly psycho-reproduction, karmic rebirth, nirvana, primordial spirit, and rebirth. Yin's current cultivation had reached a level where she could sense the heaven and earth. There was still a long way to go before she could be reborn. No matter if it was Yin or Hades, they were both very clear that even with Yin's talent and physique, it was not an easy task for her to sense the heaven and earth and break through to the nirvana rebirth. What Hades needed to do now was to shorten the cultivation time. In the courtyard, the surrounding air flow was very strange. It was not rotating, nor was it flowing with the current, or against the current. It was as if it was flowing at an irregular speed, flowing back and forth around the courtyard. Stop. Master, I failed. Yuin was somewhat helpless. Because ever since she had broken through and sensed the heaven and earth, she always had a feeling that she was only one step away from becoming one with the heavens. It was this one step away, but she was still unable to take it. Hades was also somewhat depressed. Because according to Hades's calculations, at this time, his disciples' cultivation should be able to smoothly break through to becoming one with the heavens and earth. The result? It was still unsuccessful. If he said that he wasn't depressed, it would definitely be a lie. Hades's cultivation had already broken through to the Nirvana realm, and he had successfully reached the Nirvana rebirth realm. However, in this lifetime, wanting to break through to the Nirvana rebirth realm was completely a pipe dream. It was precisely because of this. Hades was unwilling, extremely unwilling. In his opinion, even if his cultivation was unable to break through to the Nirvana rebirth realm, he still needed to create a Nirvana rebirth realm martial artist, and this candidate was his disciple, Yuin. Yuin, to become one with the heavens and earth, you need to completely merge yourself with the heavens and earth. This realm is very difficult. Back then, even I spent a full 10 years, and in the end, I relied on luck to break through. Yuin was not at all concerned about whether she could break through to the Nirvana rebirth realm. The only thing she cared about was one thing, and that was to see Longao as soon as possible. Yuin was even more aware that Longao was now in great danger. The more powerful she was, the more help she would be to Longao. Therefore, no matter what difficulties she encountered, she had to break through as soon as possible. Master, what should I do now? Chapter 1481. Sky Martial Continent. In a mysterious space. The divine mathematician looked at the space around him with a solemn expression. Taboo power filled the weak space, and the taboo power moved about unscrupulously. I hope the space will not be damaged in 3 years. The destruction of the space would not harm the divine mathematician at all. After all, the divine mathematician's cultivation had already reached the peak of the martial Tao. He could ignore the taboo energy. However, the divine mathematician would not allow the space to be damaged. Sky Martial Forest. Longao had been following Yi Wuheng and the rest, walking aimlessly. In these few days, Yi Wuheng and the rest were unable to locate any purple thunder divine beast. Helpless, Yi Wuheng and the rest could only leave Sky Martial Forest. As for the purple thunder divine beast, that was a matter for the future. It could be said that this time, entering Sky Martial Forest was completely fruitless. Outside Sky Martial Forest. Eldest senior brother, are we just going to let Longao go? Everyone in Sky Martial Continent knew about the grudge between Longao and the 3 superpowers. Yifeng originally did not like Longao. Adding on the deterrence of the 3 superpowers, Yifeng was very clear that once he handed Longao over, not only would he be able to get back his face, he would also be able to give face to the 3 superpowers. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Yifeng, you've gone too far. Hearing Yifeng's words, Yi Yingying was furious. Waving his hand, Yi Wuheng seemed to be unhappy and said, Yifeng, we don't need to find trouble for ourselves. No matter what Longao is, we don't need to take the risk. Also, you've gone too far this time. Don't challenge my bottom line. Otherwise, I won't show any mercy. Yifeng was shocked. Yifeng was afraid of Yi Wuheng. Whether it was Yi Wuheng's strength or identity, they were far beyond him. If Yi Wuheng really attacked, he would not have the slightest chance to retaliate. Provoking Yi Wuheng was something only a fool would do. Big brother, rather than provoking brother Long, why don't we rope him in? It's better for us. Yi Wuheng was not a fool. He knew what his sister meant. If there was no accident, his sister should have fallen in love with Longao. If it was someone else, Yi Wuheng might not have the slightest objection. Only Longao, no matter what happened, he could not let his sister fall in love with Longao. It was just a joke. Longao himself didn't have much to do. The only thing he had to deal with was his grudge with the three superpowers. Once his younger sister fell in love with Longao, wouldn't she have offended the three superpowers? It was definitely not worth offending the three superpowers for a single Longao. Yu Wuheng clearly knew that even his father and the elders of the sect would be against it, let alone him. Ying, no matter what happens, we will not rope in Longao. Why is that? Ying panicked when she heard her elder brother's words. Little sister, I believe you know about the grudge between Longao and the three superpowers. If we recruit Longao, won't that be the same as declaring war on the three superpowers? He didn't give Ying the slightest chance to speak. Yu Wuheng said helplessly. Ying, as a disciple of the Purple Thunder sect, you should first think of the sect's interests, not your personal interests, especially under such circumstances. Yu Wuheng was speechless. Ying also knew that what her elder brother said was right. Recruiting Brother Long under such circumstances would only bring trouble to the sect. It might even bring disaster to the sect. Big brother, promise me, even if you don't recruit Brother Long, you can't go against him. Yu Wuheng nodded. No problem. Yi Feng, who was standing at the side, sneered in his heart. Looking at the disappearing figures of the crowd, Longao heard the conversation between Yu Wuheng and Ying clearly. He shrugged helplessly. Longao knew that as the feud between him and the three superpowers continued to escalate, he believed that no matter who it was, they would stay far away from him. After all, the three superpowers were a deterrent. No one would be willing to offend the three superpowers for him. Although he knew that Yu Wuheng and Yi Feng weren't good people, Longao still had the same principle. If others don't offend me, I won't offend them. The two of them didn't do anything wrong, so there was no need for him to attract more trouble. The Purple Thunder sect was one of the 10 great sects. Whether it was strength or foundation, they were all there. Not bothering about this matter, Longao turned around and returned to the Sky Martial Forest, continuing to kill spiritual beasts and divine beasts. Longao wouldn't waste a single second of his one-year promise. As the number of divine beasts he killed increased, Longao's cultivation also began to rise. From the initial God King realm, he had already reached the peak of the God King realm in just 10 days. Such a terrifying cultivation speed, if news of it were to spread, would it shock the world? Dusk gradually passed, and night slowly descended. Longao entered the dragon seal space and asked impatiently, Xiling, what do you mean by that? Bai Ling still can't wake up? Just as Longao was killing spiritual beasts, Xiling's voice suddenly sounded. The meaning was very simple. It was regarding Bai Ling's situation. Longao was most concerned about whether Bai Ling could wake up or not. After the battle between the Wanshou sect and the Sword sect, Bai Ling had already successfully absorbed the sword qi and heaven and earth's spiritual veins. According to Xiling, even if Bai Ling couldn't wake up immediately, there wouldn't be any problem. But now, the situation suddenly appeared, causing Longao to be impatient. He didn't know what happened to Bai Ling. Chapter 1482. According to what Long Fu and Xiling had said, it was indeed a good thing for Bai Ling. What if something happened to Bai Ling? Longao did not continue asking because he knew that even Xiling and Long Fu were not 100% sure. He looked at Bai Ling quietly. He did not say a word. Neither Long Fu nor Xiling disturbed Longao and Bai Ling. Their relationship would not change until death. Time passed bit by bit. Unknowingly, 2 days had already passed. Within 2 days, Longao did not move at all. He did not even move an inch. Master, I have something to tell you. Say it. Longao looked very worried. Long Fu knew what his master was worried about, and could only sigh in his heart. Even he could not do anything about Bai Ling. Master, if you keep killing divine beasts here, it will not benefit your cultivation. He nodded. Longao roughly knew what Long Fu meant. Without life and death experiences, how could he break through quickly? Longao and his reincarnation doppelganger were practically invincible against the divine beasts of the Sky Martial Forest. As for the divine beasts of the God Emperor level, or even the Nirvana level, Longao didn't even touch them. In this way, Longao's cultivation would be stagnant, and his cultivation speed would be much slower if he only relied on devouring the divine beasts. What if he left? Master, why don't you leave Sky Martial Forest first and leave your reincarnation avatar here? Your idea is not bad. The reincarnation avatar's cultivation had already reached the divine emperor realm. Ordinary divine beasts would not be able to escape from the reincarnation avatar. As for the reincarnation avatar's safety, Longao was not worried at all. The reincarnation doppelganger was immortal. Even a Nirvana realm warrior could not break through the defense of the reincarnation doppelganger. If the reincarnation doppelganger was left behind, there was almost no danger. He thought for a moment. In the end, Longao accepted Long Fu's suggestion. He would leave the Sky Martial Forest first, while his reincarnation avatar would remain in the forest. Do as you think. Longao didn't stay any longer and left the Martial Heaven Forest as fast as he could. As for the reincarnation avatar, it only needed to kill god beasts and collect their souls and corpses. This time, after leaving the Sky Martial Forest, Longao did not bring the dragon seal with him. If it had been anyone else, Longao would not have been able to leave behind the dragon mark. Only the reincarnation avatar could. No matter what, the reincarnation doppelganger was a reproduction of Longao. Other than the fact that it had no spiritual consciousness, it was almost identical to Longao. Without his reincarnation avatar and dragon seal, Longao was alone. He could only rely on himself. Without pressure, there would be no motivation. Longao did not give himself any path of retreat. He was very clear that once the dragon seal was in his dantian, no matter what kind of trouble he encountered, the first thing he would do would be to enter the dragon seal space. If that was the case, where would the danger come from? Aimlessly. Longao did not have a clear direction because he was unable to confirm Yi Yin's location. Aoshua's situation did not allow him to go to the Phoenix clan. Bai Ling was unconscious, and with the agreement with the three superpowers, he only had one thing to do. That was to raise his strength as fast as possible. Because he only had a year's time. A year's time, to a cultivator, was probably just a blink of an eye. Violet Thunder City? Looking at the huge city in front of him, Longao was slightly shocked. He did not expect that he would end up in this place. Violet Thunder City, the biggest city under the Violet Thunder sect. It was also the most prosperous city in the Sky Martial continent. Within the Violet Thunder City, experts were as common as clouds. As the absolute overlord of the Violet Thunder City, no one dared to offend the Violet Thunder sect's prestige. And within the Violet Thunder City, there were two superpowers overseeing it. However, these two superpowers were only the watchdogs of the Violet Thunder sect. Longao did not expect that he would come to the Violet Thunder City. Since he was already here, he might as well enter the city. Within the Violet Thunder City, people came and went, shouting could be heard everywhere. It was extremely prosperous. This was the so-called 10 great cities under the 10 directions tripod. It was indeed extraordinary. Yifeng? Just as he stepped into the Violet Thunder City, Longao saw two familiar faces. One was Yi Ying and the other was Yifeng. Longao had a good impression of Yi Ying. As for Yifeng, Longao was filled with disgust. He sneered. If others do not offend me, I will not offend them. Yifeng had been finding trouble for me in the Sky Martial Forest. If he continued to stay, he would be a problem. Far away. Ying, I just received news that the Duanmu family's treasure basin has obtained a treasure that will be of great help to your cultivation. I will help you obtain it now. Ying was disgusted with Yifeng. If it wasn't for her brother, she wouldn't have come. Looking at Yifeng with disgust, Ying said unwillingly, Yifeng, other than using your power to bully others, do you have any other way to obtain what you want? Yi Feng's strength and status weren't too high. However, Yi Feng had an elder as his grandfather and was also a Nirvana realm cultivator. In this case, Yi Feng could do whatever he wanted in the Violet Thunder sect and Violet Thunder City. Yi Feng's face turned cold. He wasn't a fool, of course he knew what Yi Yingying meant. However, in order to obtain Yi Yingying, Yi Feng suppressed the anger in his heart. He smiled and said, "Sure, I will show you later that the Duanmu family is the one who willingly gave me the treasure." Shameless. Yi Yingying cursed in her heart. She was too lazy to say another word. Yi Feng was already shameless to this extent, he didn't even care about his face. What else could she say? The two of them walked while looking at their surroundings. However, they didn't notice that not far behind them, there was a figure following them. If Yi Feng knew that Longao had been following him, what would he think? The treasure basin was the largest gathering place of treasures in the Violet Thunder City. In name, it belonged to the Duanmu clan, but in reality, everyone was very clear in their hearts that the true owner of the treasure basin wasn't the Duanmu clan but the Violet Thunder sect. The two of them stepped into the treasure basin. Longao didn't hesitate and followed them in. However, before entering, he disguised himself slightly. This way, even Yi Feng and Yi Yingying wouldn't be able to recognize him. "Yi Feng, don't follow me. I have something to do." "Yi Yingying, I'm following Big Brother Ye's orders to protect you." Yi Wuheng's meaning was very simple. He wanted Yi Feng and Yi Yingying to be a couple. At that time, Yi Feng's grandfather would be more loyal to his father. In the end, this was a political marriage. Whether it was Yi Feng or Yi Yingying, both of them knew this clearly. The more it was like this, the more Yi Yingying felt disgusted. Chapter 1483. "I'm going to the toilet, don't tell me you want to follow me." An awkward smile appeared on his face. Looking at the disappearing silhouette, Yi Feng's expression turned gloomy. "Humph, wait till I get my hands on you. I will slowly torture you until you beg for death." A political marriage, no one could change it. Even Yi Yingying's father, the master of the Violet Thunder sect, Yi Tianhua, approved of this marriage. The reason was simple. Yi Tianhua also needed the help of Yi Feng's grandfather. "Yi Feng, I knew you were shameless, but I didn't expect you to be so shameless that it disgusts me. Who are you? God King Realm Cultivator?" Yi Feng, who was also a God King, didn't dare to show the slightest bit of disrespect. If he met a God King Realm Cultivator in any other place, he might have some fear. Only in the Violet Thunder sect and Violet Thunder City, he didn't have the slightest bit of worry. "Who I am has nothing to do with you." *CK Yi Feng didn't expect the other party to be so arrogant, not placing him in his eyes at all. Who was this person? Everyone knew that the Violet Thunder City was the headquarters of the Violet Thunder sect. No matter who it was, no one would dare to be impudent here, not even the other 9 major powers. Yi Feng, was an extremely famous character in the Violet Thunder sect. This wasn't because he was a God King Realm cultivator, but rather, it was because he had a Nirvana Realm elder as his grandfather. Under such deterrence, who would dare to find trouble with him? "Yi Feng, I knew you were shameless, but I didn't expect you to be so shameless that it disgusts me." Recalling the words spoken by the other party, Yi Feng was extremely curious. Not only did the other party know his name, he even gave him a feeling that the other party had known him for a long time. "Who exactly are you? Do we know each other?" Trash. Disdain was written all over his face. Longao wasn't a fool, he wouldn't make a move here. Once the Violet Thunder sect locked onto him, he would be in deep trouble. The current situation was too complicated. Without absolute confidence, Longao wouldn't make a move. "I'll look for you again." Looking at Longao, who turned around and left, Yi Feng finally endured it, because he did not have full confidence that he could kill the other party. Moreover, what Yi Feng was really afraid of was that since the other party dared to look for him so openly, then he definitely had nothing to fear. If there was an accident, he would not even have the chance to regret it. "Yi Feng, I'm a little tired, I'll go back first." Suddenly, Yi Yingying noticed that Yi Feng's expression was a little off. She was very curious. What happened to Yi Feng? Yi Yingying didn't want to ask any more and didn't want to care. Seeing that Yi Feng didn't say anything, Yi Yingying didn't continue asking and turned to leave. Yingying, wait for me. After leaving cornucopia, Yi Feng was no longer laughing and joking like before. He was very taciturn along the way, because he still couldn't figure out who the other party was. A puny divine king martial artist actually dared to find trouble with him in broad daylight. If it wasn't because he had something to rely on, then what was it? The probability of him being from other sects was too low. Could it be someone from the Violet Thunder sect? This matter caused Yi Feng to be a little confused. The Violet Thunder City wasn't too far from the Violet Thunder sect. It would take about 10 minutes. Yi Feng also didn't want to stay outside for too long because he was very clear that as long as he entered the sect, no matter who the other party was, they wouldn't be able to harm him in the slightest. But would Longao give Yi Feng such a chance? Yi Feng, I've said it before, I'll look for you again. Looking at the figure that suddenly appeared in front of him, Yi Feng was startled. According to normal circumstances, both of them were divine king martial artists. Their strength should be about the same. But for some unknown reason, Yi Feng had a bad premonition in his heart. In addition, the other party was like a vengeful spirit pestering him. Yi Feng felt even more uncertain. Big Brother Long? Hearing Yi Yingying call out his name, not to mention Yi Feng, even Longao was a little surprised. Because Longao really couldn't understand how Yi Yingying was able to recognize him with a single glance. After all, he was currently in disguise, it was very difficult to recognize him. Smiling, since things had already come to this, Longao didn't continue to hide it. He removed his disguise and smiled. Yingying, it's been a few days since we last met. How have you been? Very good. Big Brother Long, how about you? I'm also very good. Looking at Longao revealing his true face, Yi Feng's face was simply gloomy to the extreme. It was as ugly as it could be. This was the Violet Thunder City, the headquarters of the Violet Thunder sect. Longao actually dared to act against him here. Not only did he not put him in his eyes, even if the Violet Thunder sect was here, Yi Feng believed that Longao wouldn't even put the Violet Thunder sect in his eyes. Was Longao really so confident? Longao, aren't you a little too arrogant? Do you know where this place is? Nonsense. Longao's voice was ice cold. This time, after revealing his true identity, he had no intention of letting Yi Feng go. As the saying goes, if you don't remove the roots when cutting the grass, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. Once Yi Feng escaped, he would be in big trouble. Therefore, no matter what happened, Yi Feng must die. Big Brother Long, why did you come to the Violet Thunder City this time? Even a fool could see that Yi Yingying obviously liked Longao. Because of this, when Yi Yingying saw Longao suddenly appear, she was simply pleasantly surprised to the extreme. However, Yi Yingying could also hear the atmosphere between the two of them. She was very surprised because she couldn't understand why Big Brother Long wanted to deal with Yi Feng. Could it be because of the incident in the Sky Martial Forest? Yingying, this matter is between me and him. It has nothing to do with you. Stand aside first. If he didn't enter the Violet Thunder City, if he didn't see Yi Feng, Longao wouldn't have traveled thousands of miles to kill Yi Feng. Maybe it was the will of the heavens that he came to the Violet Thunder City for no reason. Moreover, just as he stepped into the Violet Thunder City, he encountered Yi Feng. If he let Yi Feng go, wouldn't he be looking for trouble in the future? As a God King realm cultivator, Yi Feng's status in the Violet Thunder sect was definitely not low. After thinking about it, Longao was still prepared to make a move. Big Brother Long, Yingying wants to ask you for a favor. Speak. Longao was a little surprised. However, he had a good impression of Yi Yingying. If it wasn't something too excessive, he would definitely agree. Big Brother Long. Yi Yingying only said 3 words before turning to look at Yi Feng. Her meaning was very clear. Sighing deeply in his heart, Longao had already guessed Yi Yingying's intention. His eyes were cold as he said in a cold voice. Scram! Longao, do you really think you're invincible under the heavens? In front of his beloved, being humiliated like this by Longao, how could Yi Feng endure it? Yi Feng didn't believe that with his strength, he would really lose to Longao. After all, both of them were peak God King realm experts. As for Longao's various legends, in Yi Feng's opinion, the reason why Longao could counterattack time after time was all because of his divine soul. His divine soul had already fallen in the sword sect. With just Longao alone, could he really be that strong? Yi Feng, if you want to scram, then scram immediately. If you don't, I will take your life. With just you? Before Yi Feng could finish his words, Longao's silhouette suddenly disappeared. Borrowing the power of spatial teleportation, Longao's figure suddenly appeared in front of Yi Feng. As God King realm experts, Yi Feng and Longao weren't on the same level. Longao could be said to be an invincible existence. Even if he were to face a God King realm expert, Longao had full confidence that he could fight on equal footing with them. Startled, Yi Feng never imagined that Longao's speed would be so fast. Not daring to be careless, he took 3 steps back and countered with a few palm strikes. In an instant, countless palm shadows appeared. One had to admit that Yi Feng wasn't just for show. His strength was also very strong. If he were to encounter other God King realm experts, Yi Feng might still have a chance to survive. Only Longao, wanting to leave alive was as difficult as ascending the heavens. Even now, Yi Feng was still filled with confidence. In his opinion, Longao was only faster than him. Whether Longao's strength could contend against him was still unknown. Longao, I'll let you experience the innate techniques of my Violet Thunder sect. Innate technique, Dragon's Roar? At the same time as the dragon's roar rang out, Yi Feng discovered that his body was locked down. In his shock, before Yi Feng could react, Longao executed another sure-kill temporal technique. With the aid of the sure-kill temporal technique, Longao's speed soared to the limit. On the other hand, Yi Feng's speed was restricted. One advancing and one retreating, the result could be imagined. Emperor Dragon's 9 Ultimate Annihilation, 9 Ultimate Annihilation, Emperor Dragon's Raging Waves, Emperor Dragon's Heaven Burial, Emperor Dragon's Garrote, Emperor Dragon's Tyrannical Aura, Emperor Dragon's Collapse, Emperor Dragon's Meteor Explosion, Emperor Dragon's Heart Devour, Emperor Dragon's Devour, Emperor Dragon's Destruction, Emperor Dragon's Destruction. Longao's fists unceasingly landed on Yi Feng's body. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. In the blink of an eye, countless fist shadows had already arrived. Without the slightest ability to resist, Yi Feng coughed out mouthfuls of blood. He didn't know how many of his ribs were broken. At this moment, Yi Feng finally understood that Longao was as strong as the legend said. Relying on himself, he wasn't a match for Longao. However, it was already too late. After the final punch, Yi Feng's body was like a kite with a broken string, heavily smashing into the ground. There was no need to look, Yi Feng was already dead. His entire body was distorted. Big Brother Long, why did you kill Yi Feng? Looking at the dead Yi Feng, Yi Yingying couldn't believe it. Although she disliked Yi Feng, she never thought that he would die. Not to mention, Yi Feng had the backing of an elder. Wouldn't it be troublesome if Big Brother Long killed Yi Feng? Yingying, do you know why I insisted on killing Yi Feng? Shaking her head, Yi Yingying also wanted to know the reason. Because she didn't believe that Big Brother Long would act just because of the Sky Martial Forest. If that was the case, Big Brother Long's heart would be too small. Originally, Longao didn't want to tell Yi Yingying, but since things had already reached this stage, he didn't want to hide it anymore. After thinking for a while, he said, Yingying, Yi Feng has already told the news about me to the 3 major powers. If I'm not mistaken, Yi Feng wants to take credit for himself. I'm not a good person, but when it comes to eradicating the root of the problem, I have to do it. I don't want to leave any trouble for myself, do you understand? Chapter 1484. She nodded. Ying didn't care whether Yifeng was dead or alive. Ying didn't expect that Yifeng would pass the news of Longao to the three superforces. Everyone in the Tianwu continent knew about the grudge between Longao and the three superforces. Although the three superforces were not allowed to attack Longao for a year due to the Oracle's prestige, no one knew what kind of shameless actions the three superforces would take once they knew about Longao's whereabouts. Longao was the thorn in the side of the three superforces. If Yifeng really did that, he deserved to die. "Brother Long, what's wrong?" He was curious, wondering what happened to Yi Ying. "Brother Long, Yifeng's grandfather is an elder of my Purple Thunder sect. He has reached the Nirvana realm. You have to be careful." Nirvana realm? Longao didn't expect Yifeng to have such a background. He knew very well what it meant to have a Nirvana realm grandfather. "Ying, you don't have to worry about this. No one knows that I killed Yifeng." Purple Thunder sect, one of the top 10 sections. On the left-hand side of the Violet Thunder Peak, on a stone platform with an elegant environment halfway up the mountain, an old man with a grizzled beard who resembled Yifeng was meditating and cultivating. The old man was none other than the Purple Thunder sect's elder Yi Wuren. He was also Yifeng's grandfather, a powerful Nirvana realm expert. Other than the master, the three strongest people in the Purple Thunder sect were the Purple Thunder Three Elders. The Purple Thunder Three Elders were the Great Elder Yi Wutian, the Second Elder Yi Wutian, and the Third Elder Yi Wuren. Without exception, the cultivation of the three Purple Thunder Grand Elders had all reached the heavenly cycle multiplying realm, especially the Purple Thunder Grand Elder Yi Wutian. It was said that he had broken through to the Nirvana realm, and was only one step away from officially breaking through to the Nirvana rebirth realm. All of a sudden, Yi Wuren opened his eyes. Two beams of light pierced through the endless clouds and shone coldly. His grandson is dead? Yi Wuren had countless grandchildren, but he loved this grandson the most. Because of this, Yi Wuren helped Yifeng cultivate wholeheartedly. This was also the reason why Yifeng could reach the Divine King realm at such a young age. Yi Wuren knew Yifeng's character very well. Yifeng had died, and the soul crystal ball in Yi Wuren's hand had shattered. This also meant that his grandson's soul had been destroyed, and he did not even have the chance to enter the cycle of reincarnation. Who was it? Yi Wuren stood up, and a terrifying murderous aura erupted from his body. Killing intent covered the sky. "Who is it?" The killing intent in his voice was so strong that it could be heard by the entire Violet Thunder sect. "What happened to the third elder?" "I don't know." "What a terrifying killing intent!" The people who heard the roar all turned pale with fright because no one knew what happened to the third elder. Why was he acting like this for no reason? Big Brother Long, third elder already knows about Yifeng's death. You should leave Violet Thunder City as soon as possible. He was a little surprised. Longao didn't expect that the Violet Thunder sect would receive news of Yifeng's death so quickly. It seemed like this third elder really doted on Yifeng. He didn't regret it at all. "Ying, if it's me and the Violet Thunder sect, I hope you won't blame me. Big Brother Long, I just want to know why." Yi Ying naturally didn't want Longao to become enemies with the sect. She didn't want anything to happen to the sect, and similarly, she didn't want anything to happen to Longao. At the same time, Yi Ying couldn't understand why Longao would go against the sect for no reason. She knew very well that her big brother Long wouldn't do this for no reason. Could it be that there was a misunderstanding? How could Longao not know what Yi Ying was thinking in her heart? He sighed deeply in his heart. Since he was already here, he had to do what he had to do. "Ying, I believe you know a thing or two about the grudge between me and the three superpowers." Yi Ying nodded but didn't say anything. Her intuition told her that this matter wasn't as simple as it seemed. Back then, when the three transcendent powers dealt with the Dragon Valley, two of them participated. One of them was the Heavenly Mystic sect, while the other was the Violet Thunder sect. If it wasn't for the Sword Realm protecting the Dragon Valley, I believe that the Dragon Valley would have already been destroyed. The Tianwu continent was divided into 10 factions. 1 clan, 2 alliances, 3 groups, and 4 sections. the Long family, the Alchemy Guild, the Martial Artists Alliance, the Myriad Beast sect, the Heaven and Earth sect, the Five Elements sect, the Wanjan School, the Sword sect, the Violet Thunder sect, and the Black Heaven sect. On the surface, only the Long family, the Martial Artists Alliance, and the Myriad Beast sect attacked the Dragon Valley. However, Longao had investigated thoroughly. Other than the three superpowers, there were two other sects that participated in the attack. They were just hiding in the dark. The two superpowers that were attacking the Dragon Valley were none other than the Black Heaven sect and the Purple Thunder sect. That's impossible. Big Brother Long, you must be mistaken. Why would the sect attack the Dragon Valley for no reason? The Dragon Valley was Longao's family. If the sect really attacked the Dragon Valley, it was equivalent to attacking the Longao. If that was really the case, Yi Yingying finally understood why Longao had said those words. Even now, Yi Yingying was still unwilling to believe that her sect would attack the Dragon Valley and her big brother Long. Yingying, the enmity between me and the Violet Thunder sect will not affect our friendship. Big brother Long, forgive me for being blunt. Speak. Big brother Long, regardless of whether the sect really attacked the Dragon Valley, this matter is already in the past. I will speak to my father personally later. This way, the two of you can bury the hatchet. Who knows, the sect might even help you in the future. Looking at Yi Yingying, Longao was very clear in his heart. Since the Violet Thunder sect had chosen to help the three superpowers to attack the Dragon Valley, they had no way out. Since that was the case, if Yi Yingying went to speak to them, not only would they not bury the hatchet, the Violet Thunder sect might even attack him. Yingying, I'll say it again. The enmity between us has nothing to do with you. Big brother Long, don't you have any leeway at all? Shaking his head, Longao's attitude was unusually firm. He was very clear that being kind to one's enemy was being cruel to oneself. The moment he let his guard down, the one who would suffer in the end would be himself. Longao could be considered the first person in history to be able to go against 5 superpowers at the same time. Not to mention offending 5 superpowers at the same time. If it was any other ordinary person, they would have already wet their pants in fear. Yi Yingying seemed to want to say something, but the words were already at the tip of her tongue. She was very clear about Longao's character. Would someone who dared to cause a ruckus in the 3 superpowers change his mind so easily? Obviously not. Big brother Long, you have to be careful. If the people from the Violet Thunder sect were here and heard Yi Yingying's words, it was unknown how they would feel. After all, Yi Yingying was a member of the Violet Thunder sect and not a disciple of the Dragon sect. Chapter 1485. I know. Before Yi Yingying could say anything, Longao smiled and said, You can go back first. I will stay in the Purple Thunder City for a while. If there's anything, you can look for me any time. Without the slightest worry. Longao had full confidence that Yi Yingying would not betray him. Brother Long, be careful. She was a little worried. Yi Yingying turned around and left step by step, soon disappearing without a trace. Purple Thunder Sect. Inside the Purple Thunder main hall, the Violet Thunder Sect's patriarch, Yi Tianhua, sat in the main seat, and below him were 3 old men. They were none other than the Violet Thunder Sect's 3rd elder, Grand Elder Yi Wutian, 2nd Elder Yi Wutian, and 3rd Elder Yi Wuren. At this moment, Yi Wuren's face was very gloomy. His most beloved grandson died for no reason. Until now, he still did not know who did it. 3rd Elder, what happened? Yi Tianhua, who was sitting on the main seat, seemed to be very shocked because the matter of Yi Feng and Yi Wuren's grandson was known to everyone. Since that was the case, who was so daring? No matter what, the Purple Thunder Sect and the 3rd Elder were there, unless there was water in the brain. Who could it be? Master, Yi Feng was killed. According to my understanding, Yi Feng left the sect with Yingying a few hours ago. Yi Wuren did not continue, but the meaning in his words was very clear. Where's Yingying? Master, Yingying has already returned to the sect. I've just sent someone to invite her. Could it be related to Yingying? The entire main hall fell into silence. No one said anything. Not long after, Yi Ying had already entered the main hall. Seeing that the three elders were all here, she had already guessed why the three elders were all here. If there was no accident, the third elder and the rest already knew about Yi Feng's death. There was no expression on her face. Yi Ying knew very well that she would not be able to hide anything from everyone if she acted strangely. If the three elders knew that Brother Long had killed Yi Feng, the consequences would be obvious. Although Yi Ying believed in Longao's strength, the strength of the three elders was there for all to see. Brother Long was not a match for any of the three elders even in a one-on-one situation, let alone 1 against 3. After all, the gap between the Supreme Divine Path and the Nirvana realm was too big, like an insurmountable gap. Father, three elders. Yi Ying bowed respectfully, then chuckled and asked, Father, what's the matter? Seeing Yi Ying's expression, the three elders were curious. Could it be that Yi Feng's death had nothing to do with Ying? Be it the three elders or Yi Tianhua, they would never believe that Yi Ying killed Yi Feng. Yi Tianhua doted on his daughter very much. He smiled and said, Ying, I heard that a few hours ago, you and Yi Feng left the sect together. Is that true? Nodding her head, Yi Ying did not hide anything and replied, That's right. Senior brother Yi Feng said that there was a treasure for me in Purple Thunder City, so he brought me there. What's wrong? What happened? Purple Thunder City? What happened next? Next? Seemingly curious, Yi Ying thought for a while and said, Senior brother Yi Feng and I went to the treasure basin first. It turned out that the treasure was just a piece of trash. I came back first in a fit of anger. Father, did something happen to senior brother Yi Feng? Since things had come to this point, Yi Tianhua did not hide anything and said helplessly, Ying, that's right. Not only did Yi Feng not return to the sect, but he has also fallen. Not even his bones are left. Hearing the words not even his bones are left, the third elder's face turned gloomy. At this moment, the third elder said coldly, Master, it seems like something happened to Yi Feng in Purple Thunder City. We should immediately lock down the Purple Thunder City and search the entire city. I don't believe that we can't find any clues. Hearing the third elder's words, Yi Ying was shocked. Because only she knew that Longao killed Yi Feng. Moreover, Longao did not leave the Purple Thunder City. Once the city was locked down and Longao was discovered, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, Yi Ying did not reveal any abnormalities. Because she knew that she could not reveal any clues. Otherwise, the three elders would be able to see through her with a single glance. At that time, wouldn't it cause more trouble for Brother Long? The reason why they did not suspect Yi Ying was because of her identity. Whether it was the three elders or Yi Tianhua, they would never believe that Yi Ying would help an outsider. After all, Yi Ying was a member of the Purple Thunder sect. Ying, you can leave first. Yi Ying did not stay any longer, and immediately left the main hall. However, Yi Ying was also very smart. She did not inform Longao at this time because she knew that Yi Feng's death would definitely enrage the third elder. If there were no accidents, the third elder would definitely monitor her. If something were to happen at this time, it would really cause harm to Brother Long. Third elder, if we lock down the Purple Thunder City, I believe you should know the consequences. Nodding his head, the third elder said, Master, of course I know. However, I will bear all the consequences. Since the third elder had already said so, it was impossible for Yi Tianhua to continue insisting. Without a doubt, Yi Tianhua and the three elders issued an order to lock down the Purple Thunder City, only allowing people to enter but not leave. This caused the people of the Purple Thunder City to panic, not knowing what was going on. In fact, the four of them already understood that since the other party dared to kill Yi Feng, it was impossible for them to stay. Unless the other party could disregard the Purple Thunder sect. However, in the Sky Martial continent, even Nirvana realm cultivators would not dare to underestimate the Purple Thunder sect, let alone others. In the Purple Thunder City, there were two major clans, the Duanmu clan and the Lin clan. On the surface, the Lin clan and the Duanwu clan were the hegemons of the Purple Thunder City, but in reality, there was only one hegemon in the Purple Thunder City, and that was the Purple Thunder sect, not the Lin clan and the Duanwu clan. The Purple Thunder sect issued an order to lock down the Purple Thunder City. Even if the Lin clan and Duanwu clan were extremely unhappy and unwilling, they could only follow the Purple Thunder sect's order and lock down the Purple Thunder City. The two clans were very clear that once they provoked the Purple Thunder sect, regardless of whether it was the Lin clan or the Duanwu clan, they would be annihilated in an instant. At that time, the Purple Thunder sect would choose a new clan to replace them as the new hegemon of the Purple Thunder City. Locking down the Purple Thunder City, the Lin clan and Duanwu clan were very clear of the consequences, but they had no other choice. Not only that, according to the Purple Thunder sect's order, the Lin clan and Duanwu clan began a large-scale search. The target of their search was none other than Yi Feng's murderer. The news of Yi Feng's death had already spread throughout the Purple Thunder City. Those who received the news all turned pale with fright. Yi Feng's strength and status were all there. Yi Feng himself was a God King realm cultivator, and he even had the support of the Third Elder. Who would dare to kill Yi Feng? That was simply courting death. Not to mention, the other party dared to kill Yi Feng in broad daylight in the Purple Thunder City. He didn't even put the Purple Thunder sect in his eyes. If this person escaped, where would the Purple Thunder sect's face go? They would definitely become the laughingstock of the world. Others might not know, but how could the Lin clan and Duanwu clan not know? The other party actually killed Yi Feng. There was 100% chance that they wouldn't continue to stay in the Purple Thunder City. After all, no matter who the culprit was, they would definitely leave immediately. Yi Feng was a God King realm cultivator. To be able to kill Yi Feng, there was no doubt that the person was at least a God King realm cultivator. If no one stopped him in advance, it would be an easy matter for him to leave the Purple Thunder City. The lockdown of the Violet Thunder City caused the hearts of everyone in the city to be filled with trepidation. Not only the Duanwu clan and the Lin clan, even the Violet Thunder sect sent out troops to conduct a thorough search. This time around, the Violet Thunder sect was truly enraged. The Third Elder, Yi Warren, personally came to the Violet Thunder City. But after thinking about it, this person actually dared to act in the Violet Thunder City, and even killed Yi Feng. This was a clear provocation to the Violet Thunder sect. In the Purple Thunder City, in an inconspicuous room of an inn, Longao looked through the window, indifferently looking at the crowd below. Just earlier, when the Lin clan sent a large group of troops to conduct a search, Longao didn't even disguise himself, yet no one recognized him. After all, Longao's fame was extremely great, but only a few had seen him before. Who would know that after killing Yi Feng, Longao would continue to stay in the Purple Thunder City? Not only that, he was hiding in a small inn. Longao, you are already like fire and water with the other three clans. If you provoke the Purple Thunder sect now, I'm afraid it's not a wise choice. With regards to Xiling's words, how could Longao not understand? He laughed. The Purple Thunder sect is even more terrifying compared to the other three clans. They act in the dark, it's hard to guard against them. I'm very clear of the current situation, but with my current situation, it's almost impossible for me to break through to the Nirvana realm within a year. Hence, I have to seize every minute. I don't have much time left. A year later, if your cultivation is unable to break through to the Nirvana realm, how do you plan to deal with it? A year later? The strength of the three major powers was there for all to see. Longao was very clear of his own limits. Not to mention himself, even if any one of the 10 direction cauldrons came out, they wouldn't dare to fight against the three of them alone. Different situations call for different actions. If there's no other way, I can only take that step. She didn't continue asking because Xiling was very clear that if Longao didn't want to talk about it, no matter how much she asked, she believed that Longao wouldn't say a single word. However, Xiling had a bad premonition in her heart. Earlier, Longao said different situations call for different actions. If there's no other way, I can only take that step. What did he mean by that? If the three major powers joined forces, no matter who it was, they wouldn't be able to win. Xiling really couldn't think of any method Longao could use to defeat the three major powers. Even if he used extreme methods, it wouldn't work. After all, he was only one person, he didn't even have the help of a Nirvana realm cultivator. Under such circumstances, Longao was actually in a very passive position. Chapter 1486. The Purple Thunder sect conducted a thorough search. Even Longao didn't dare to be careless. No matter what, this was the Purple Thunder City, the headquarters of the Purple Thunder sect. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. In 3 days, the two great clans of the Purple Thunder City and the Purple Thunder sect used a lot of resources but still couldn't find the culprit. Purple Thunder sect. Purple Thunder Great Hall. Unable to find the culprit, the third elder Yi Wuren's face was gloomy to the extreme. Yi Wuren had already guessed that the person who killed his grandson had most likely left the Purple Thunder City. It was easier said than done to find a trace of a person in a sea of people. Not to mention, even now, no one knew who had killed his grandson. Yi Feng had no parents since he was young. It could be said that he was brought up by Yi Wuren. This was also the reason why Yi Wuren doted on Yi Feng the most. Third Elder, what do you think about this? Yi Wuren felt helpless. Yi Tianhua looked at the third elder in front of him and said helplessly, Third Elder, what do you think about this? Yi Feng was killed. Everyone knew that the third elder would definitely not let this matter go. Yi Wuren's face was gloomy as he said coldly, This person dared to kill my grandson in the Purple Thunder City. Not only did he not put me in his eyes, he also did not put the Purple Thunder sect in his eyes. Master, if this matter is not solved, where will our face go? How to solve it? Yi Tianhua was also depressed to the extreme. If they knew who did it, everything would be easy. With the sect's strength, even if it was the other 9 great clans, the Purple Thunder sect would still ask for an explanation. But, now that they didn't even know who did it, how could they solve it? Before Yi Tianhua could say anything, the Purple Thunder Great Elder Yi Wutian said, Third Elder is right. If we don't solve this matter well, we will become a laughing stock. Great Elder, until now, we still don't know who did it. Yi Wuren nodded. Yi Wutian of course knew that the most troublesome thing now was not knowing who did it, otherwise, the 4 of them wouldn't have to stay here and worry about it. This person dared to kill Yi Feng in the Purple Thunder City. This is a provocation to the sect. If this is the case, according to my guess, this person shouldn't have left the Purple Thunder City. Huh! Hearing the Great Elder's analysis, the other 3 were a little surprised. Because the 3 of them had already guessed that the real murderer of Yi Feng had already left the Violet Thunder City. Unless there was something wrong with his head, otherwise, it was impossible for him to continue staying in the Violet Thunder City. The 3 of them also knew that the Great Elder would not shoot arrows for no reason. Could it be that the real culprit was still in Purple Thunder City? It was unbelievable. Big brother, what should we do now? Yi Feng was Yi Wuren's grandson, and Yi Wutian and Yi Wuren were brothers. Without a doubt, Yi Feng was also Yi Wutian's grandson. Regardless of whether it was an individual or a sect, the other party's provocation was simply courting death. He thought for a moment. Withdraw from the blockade. The person who is able to kill Yi Feng is at least a supreme divine path expert. Even if we seal the Purple Thunder City, it will be of no use. What did that mean? This person killed Yi Feng. If he did it on purpose, it would be a provocation to the sect. Although we can't be sure of this person's motive, I still feel that this person won't give up so easily. Big brother, do you mean that the other party will still act against our Violet Thunder sect? The 3 of them found it hard to believe. The Violet Thunder sect was one of the 10 major powers. There was no need to doubt their strength. Who was this person exactly? Could it be someone from the other 9 major powers? That was impossible. In the Tianwu continent, the 10 major powers had always minded their own business. Unless the other 9 major powers had nothing better to do, they wouldn't act against the Violet Thunder sect for no reason. Not to mention, if this matter was really done by one of the 10 major powers, there was no need for the other 9 major powers to hide. After all, amongst the 10 major powers, the Violet Thunder sect's strength could only be considered the weakest. They couldn't figure it out. Great Elder, how should we deal with this matter? Wait and see. Wait and see. Within the Violet Thunder City, Longao strolled along the streets, surveying the various shops and the surroundings. He didn't know why the Violet Thunder sect would suddenly remove the lockdown on the Violet Thunder City. Could it be that the Violet Thunder sect had already given up on pursuing this matter? According to normal circumstances, it was impossible for the Violet Thunder sect to give up so easily. After all, he was the one who killed Yi Feng. From the perspective of the Violet Thunder sect, this wasn't as simple as killing Yi Feng. This was a clear provocation to the Violet Thunder sect. If the Violet Thunder sect could endure this, it was truly unbelievable. Longao didn't dare to be careless because he was very clear that the Violet Thunder sect wouldn't give up so easily. If there were no accidents, the Violet Thunder sect's tactic of retreating in order to advance was to lure him out. It seemed like even now, the Violet Thunder sect still didn't know that he was the one who killed Yi Feng. Leave? Or stay? Earlier, when the Violet Thunder sect and Mystic Sky sect acted against the Dragon Valley in the dark, Longao was infuriated. If the two sects acted openly, he wouldn't have acted in such a manner. What he hated the most was to act in the dark. No matter how he thought about it, Longao couldn't figure out when he had offended the Violet Thunder sect and Mystic Sky sect. It seemed like these two sects had chosen to help the 3 major powers. But thinking about it, he understood. No matter what, Long Family, Martial Artists Alliance, and Myriad Beasts sect's strength were all there for all to see. Not to mention the Violet Thunder sect and Mystic Sky sect, no matter who it was, they would undoubtedly choose to side with the 3 major powers instead of him. Violet Thunder sect, a debt of blood must be paid in blood. Ever since the battle at the Sword sect, under the threat of the Divine Mathematician, the 3 major powers seemed to have ceased their activities and didn't appear again. The disciples of the Dragon Valley also left the Dragon Valley. After all, the Dragon sect also needed to develop. But what was the result? The disciples of the Dragon sect who left the Dragon Valley were killed for no reason. Even until now, no one knew who did it. A few days ago, news came from the Dragon Valley saying that the people who were secretly plotting against the Dragon sect were none other than the Black Heaven sect and the Purple Thunder sect. Cursing harshly in his heart, Longao was certain that the reason why the Violet Thunder sect and Mystic Sky sect acted against him and the Dragon sect was because of the 3 major powers. Because of the threat of the Divine Mathematician, the 3 major powers couldn't act against him and the Dragon sect. Hence, they decided to borrow a knife to kill them, borrowing the power of the Violet Thunder sect and Mystic Sky sect to deal with him. This was truly a sinister move. And precisely because of this, Longao didn't choose to leave and chose to stay. Since the Violet Thunder sect wanted to deal with the Dragon sect, if he didn't give them some face, they would really think that he was a pushover. If others don't offend me, I won't offend them. If the Violet Thunder sect wanted to act shamelessly, there was nothing he could do about it. Chapter 1487. He continued to stay in the Purple Thunder City. Longao didn't stop there. However, Longao was very clear of his own strength. If he wanted to fight alone, it would be akin to courting death. Since he couldn't do it openly, he could only resort to assassination. Since the Purple Thunder sect could kill the Dragon sect's disciples in the dark, why couldn't he? In the following time, Longao began to assassinate the disciples of the Purple Thunder sect, especially the Emperors and Divine Realm experts. Even the peerless Divine Realm experts were Longao's targets. In the short span of 2 days, over 20 people from the Violet Thunder sect were assassinated. What kind of concept was this? In the Purple Thunder Great Hall. Big brother, your guess is correct. The other party is truly targeting our Violet Thunder sect. In just 2 days, over 20 of our disciples have already been assassinated. Among them, there are 10 divine realm cultivators, 3 god kings and god kings, and the rest are all emperors. As expected. He cursed harshly. Master, it seems like this person has the intention to target our Purple Thunder sect. If we don't think of a way to deal with it, the trouble ahead will only get bigger. As the sect leader of the Violet Thunder sect, Yi Tianhua couldn't escape the blame. Grand Elder, if this person doesn't show himself, we will be in a passive position. You're right. However, according to my guess, this person is only here to assassinate, and doesn't dare to show himself. It seems like this person's strength is only at the supreme divine level. Hearing Yi Wutian's analysis, the other 3 nodded in agreement. A peerless divine realm expert wanting to assassinate the disciples of the Purple Thunder sect was as easy as flipping one's hand. As long as he didn't meet a Nirvana realm expert, he could do whatever he wanted. Not to mention, until now, the 4 of them couldn't be sure of the identity of this person who wanted to target their sect. The most mysterious thing was the most terrifying. Big brother, third brother, master, let me say a few words. The one who spoke was the second elder of the Purple Thunder sect, Yi Wutian. Big brother, third brother, master, I feel that there is something fishy about this matter. Our Purple Thunder sect is one of the top 10 sects, our strength is undeniable. Even the other 9 sects wouldn't dare to do such a thing. Continue. Yi Wuti's expression was heavy as he continued. For so many years, nobody dared to provoke my Violet Thunder sect. But now, don't tell me you're not curious at all. There was something fishy about this. Yi Wutian and the other 2 knew this very well. Second brother, if you have something to say, just say it. Hearing Yi Wuti's words, they were confused. They didn't know what Yi Wuti meant. Big brother, what I mean is very simple. Could this matter be related to Longao? Longao? Hearing the name Longao, everyone was shocked. From start to finish, the 3 of them had never thought that this matter would be related to Longao. He shook his head. Yi Tianhua resolutely replied. Impossible. Second elder, you are thinking too much. According to the news I received, ever since the battle at the Sword Sect, Longao has already disappeared. If you say that Longao would come to the Violet Thunder sect to deal with us, it's simply unbelievable. Even Yi Wutian and Yi Wuren could not believe it, let alone Yi Tianhua. Second brother, you are thinking too much. Yi Wuti also hoped that he was thinking too much, but he didn't know why he felt that this matter was related to Longao. Big brother. Yi Wuti waved his hand. Stopping Yi Wuti from continuing, Yi Wutian said, Second brother, I'll say it again. You are thinking too much. This matter is definitely not related to Longao. Yi Tianhua also nodded in agreement and said, Second elder, great elder is right. You and I are very clear about the grudge between Longao and the 3 super forces. Not to mention Longao, even you and I wouldn't want to cause unnecessary trouble under such circumstances. Yi Wuti seemed to want to say something, but he forcibly shut his mouth. Now that he thought about it carefully, it was just as his big brother and master had said. The probability of this matter being related to Longao was too small. After all, Longao and the 3 super forces had already reached a point where it was either you die or I die. Choosing to provoke the Purple Thunder sect at this time was simply like being kicked in the head by a donkey. Big brother, if this matter is not related to Longao, then who could it be? Very simple, we just have to wait and see. Since this person is obviously targeting our Purple Thunder sect, if there are no accidents, he will continue to do so. Therefore, we have to remain silent. Since things had already reached this point, this was the only way. The 4 of them would never have thought that the person they were looking for was in the Purple Thunder sect. However, Longao didn't step into the Purple Thunder sect. It was still the same sentence. Longao knew his own limits. Now, he was only suitable for assassination. Who are you? Right at this moment. Looking at the 2 people in front of him, Longao didn't need to guess. The 2 people who suddenly appeared in front of him were definitely disciples of the Purple Thunder sect. They were merely Xiantian lords. The two of you, I wish to enter the Purple Thunder sect and become a disciple. Is there any way to do so? Upon hearing this, the two of them exchanged glances, feeling somewhat amused. Such a situation happened countless times every year. The two of them didn't feel the slightest bit of anger. Instead, they laughed. Little brother, it isn't so easy to enter the Purple Thunder sect. Earlier, I sensed that you are merely a Hotian realm cultivator. If you wish to enter the Purple Thunder sect, the two of us can help you. Longao's face lit up with joy. He couldn't wait any longer and continued. Two big brothers, please help me. I really wish to enter the Purple Thunder sect. After speaking, Longao took out two treasures from his robes and spoke with a pitiful look on his face. Two big brothers, these are treasures passed down in my clan. As long as the two of you can help me enter the Purple Thunder sect, these two treasures are yours. The two of them exchanged glances once more, and could see traces of joy in each other's eyes. As inner disciples of the Purple Thunder sect, although they were of the lowest level, their judgment was still not bad. Just by looking at the treasures in each other's hands, they could tell that they were treasures. Laughing, one of them laughed. No problem. But little brother, you are only a Hotian realm cultivator. Even if you enter the Purple Thunder sect, you can only be an outer disciple. But don't worry, as long as your cultivation base can break through to the Scientian realm, you will naturally be able to enter the inner sect and become an inner disciple. The two of them were laughing in their hearts. How could it be easy for a Hotian realm cultivator to break through to the Scientian realm? Based on the talent of this young man in front of them, he might not even be able to break through to the Scientian realm within 8 to 10 years. Hence, the two of them weren't worried at all. As for outer disciples, they didn't have the slightest bit of status in the Purple Thunder sect. Not to mention the upper echelons, even the most ordinary of inner disciples could be casually recruited. It could be said that in the Purple Thunder sect, outer disciples could be said to be the lowest level of existence. They were akin to slaves. However, Longao didn't seem to mind. Chapter 1488. Longao successfully entered the Violet Thunder sect, becoming an outer disciple. As for whether he was an outer disciple or an inner disciple, Longao didn't care. Violet Thunder Peak. Black Wolf, you have to remember that you are now an outer disciple of the Violet Thunder sect. You have to be obedient, or don't blame us for not reminding you when you die. Many thanks, senior brothers. All right, find a place to stay, we'll take our leave first. The two of them didn't even place Longao in their eyes, their faces filled with disdain and annoyance. If it weren't for the two treasures, the two of them wouldn't have brought Longao into the Violet Thunder sect. In the Tianwu continent, no matter where one went, strength was the most important thing. Watching the two of them leave, Longao coldly laughed. The first step was a success. Entering the Violet Thunder sect, Longao only had a single goal, and that was to kill the disciples of the Violet Thunder sect without anyone knowing. The most dangerous place was also the safest place. Even if the Violet Thunder sect was beaten to death, they wouldn't be able to imagine that the person they were looking for was right under their noses. Longao was gambling. One couldn't help but admit that Longao was truly daring. If it was someone else, would they dare to do this? If he won, Longao would have the upper hand. But if he lost, the consequences would be unimaginable. In the Violet Thunder sect, there were 3 types of disciples: outer disciples, inner disciples, and core disciples. It was said that the number of outer disciples in the Violet Thunder sect numbered in the tens of thousands. In other words, Longao was like a drop of water in the ocean, unable to cause the slightest ripple. Now that Longao was an outer disciple, he had no way to enter the Violet Thunder sect. He could only stay outside. Successfully entering the Violet Thunder sect was only the first step. The next step was to find a way to become an inner disciple. Only then would it be more convenient for him to enter the Violet Thunder sect. In order to become an inner disciple of the Violet Thunder sect, the first condition was to break through to the Scientian realm. This was a piece of cake for Longao. Longao had forcefully suppressed his cultivation base, stating that he had just broken through to the Xiantian realm. Not only that, he was also in disguise. To those from the Violet Thunder sect, even if Longao was standing right in front of them, they wouldn't be able to recognize him. However, Longao did not act immediately. Longao was very clear in his heart that he had just entered the Violet Thunder sect and became an outer disciple. If he revealed his Xiantian cultivation base so quickly, he would definitely arouse the suspicions of others. This was especially so for the two people earlier. No matter what, his identity had already been confirmed. Black Wolf was Longao's code name. Violet Thunder Sect. Inside the Purple Thunder Palace. Even now, the four of them had no clue as to who the culprit behind the Violet Thunder Sect was. Who was it? Elders, it has already been 3 days, but the other party hasn't made the slightest move. The three of them nodded in agreement. This is a little troublesome. The other party seems to be able to guess what we're thinking. Sometimes they attack, and sometimes they stop. Their grandson was killed, and their sect was provoked. Even after so many days, they still hadn't found the culprit. This matter had already spread, and the Violet Thunder sect's face had been lost greatly. Second brother, third brother, master, I can say with absolute certainty that the culprit is still in the Violet Thunder City, and is still alive in the vicinity of our Violet Thunder sect. The three of them nodded, agreeing with the first elder's words. Big brother, this person seems to have already eaten us. He's in the dark, while we're out in the open. If this continues, the ones who will suffer will always be us. What should we do in this situation? What should they do? Yu Tian's heart was filled with helplessness. Ever since the establishment of the Violet Thunder sect, such a thing had never happened before. Not to mention others, as the great elder of the Violet Thunder sect, he had truly lost all his face. He felt extremely helpless. What do you all think? First elder, even now, we still can't be sure of the origin of the other party. Why would they target our Violet Thunder sect for no reason? Nodding, Yu Tian agreed. Master is right. The most important thing right now is to figure out why the other party came here, and why they want to target our Violet Thunder sect. The matter of the Violet Thunder sect had already spread throughout the entire Tianwu continent. The Violet Thunder sect and Violet Thunder City tried their best to suppress the news, but they were still unable to prevent it from leaking out. It was precisely because of this. Those who received the news all turned pale with fright. No one would have thought that in this world, there would still be someone who dared to target the Violet Thunder sect. This was a complete provocation, a naked provocation. Wasn't provoking the Violet Thunder sect the same as courting death? The Violet Thunder sect was one of the top 10 powers. Their strength was clear for all to see. Not to mention an individual, even the other 9 superpowers might not dare to provoke the Violet Thunder sect. What made them even more speechless was that even now, the Violet Thunder sect couldn't even find the shadow of the culprit. Was this real? Who exactly was the culprit? Everyone was guessing who it was that had such a deep enmity with the Violet Thunder sect, to continuously assassinate their divine realm experts. This was unbelievable, simply inconceivable. Under such circumstances, everyone in the Violet Thunder City was in a state of panic. Each and every one of them was afraid that they would be implicated. After all, the Violet Thunder sect was like an enraged lion. No matter who it was, they would definitely be bitten back. The impact of this matter on the Violet Thunder City wasn't small. The prosperity of the city had decreased by 1/3. Although the Violet Thunder sect wouldn't mind, the Lin clan and Duanmu clan were extremely worried. The two great clans controlled the entire Violet Thunder City. If the Violet Thunder City was in trouble, how would they answer to the Violet Thunder City? There was no other way. The two great clans could only do their best to find the culprit. They couldn't afford to make the slightest mistake, otherwise their clans would be consigned to eternal damnation. In the Violet Thunder sect, the wind was blowing and the clouds were moving. After 3 days, Longao roughly understood the situation of the Violet Thunder sect. After 3 days of consolidation, Longao was prepared to enter the inner sect of the Violet Thunder City and become an inner disciple. Longao's cultivation base had already broken through to the God King realm. Forcefully suppressing his cultivation base to the Xiantian realm was simply a simple matter. Not only that, even the head examiner of the Violet Thunder sect wouldn't be able to discover anything. Just like this, Longao smoothly became an inner disciple of the Violet Thunder sect. From an outer disciple to an inner disciple, Longao could officially enter the inner sect of the Violet Thunder Mountain. If that was the case, it would be much easier for him to do anything. Oldly, is there something wrong with that fool's head? Such treasures, yet he gave them to us for free. With them, our cultivation speed would increase by several times. Not only is there nothing wrong with his head, he's actually an extremely intelligent person. What use does he have for these 2 treasures? Once he enters the Violet Thunder sect and cultivates for a few years, breaking through to the Xiantian realm, I believe he would be able to become an inner disciple. Tell me, to him, is it because of these 2 treasures that he can still be an inner disciple? P.S. News will explode tomorrow, starting at midnight tonight. Chapter 1489. Nodding their heads. Being an outer disciple of the Violet Thunder sect was indeed more valuable than the 2 treasures. Black Wolf? Just as the 2 of them were pleasantly surprised, they suddenly saw the young man in front of them. Their faces were filled with disbelief. Long time no see, senior brothers. How have you been? Long time no see? It hadn't even been 3 days. Was this considered long? The 2 of them looked at each other. A trace of shock could be seen in each other's eyes. According to the rules of the Violet Thunder sect, outer disciples were not allowed to enter the Violet Thunder Peak unless they were summoned. Since that was the case, how did Black Wolf come in? Black Wolf was only an outer disciple. Black Wolf, how did you come in? I won't hide it from senior brothers. 3 days ago, I met an elder. He saw that I was working hard in my cultivation and helped me break through to the Xiantian realm. Now, I'm officially an inner disciple. Inner disciple? What did this mean? The 2 of them were dumbfounded. In 3 days he broke through from the Hotian realm to the Xiantian realm. Was this real? Not only that, it was an elder who helped him personally. The 2 of them were very clear in their hearts that the elders of the sect were all powerful cultivators. Even the weakest of them were at the peerless divine realm. Would such a character personally help an outer disciple? They swallowed their saliva harshly. No matter how strong Black Wolf was, no matter how high his status was, to be able to obtain the help of an elder, the 2 of them were certain that Black Wolf's status would be above theirs in the future. As they thought of this, the attitude of the 2 of them took a 180-degree turn as they laughed. Black Wolf, congratulations! But since you're already an inner disciple, you should be careful. Senior brother, please explain. It's very simple. The inner sect is a place where strength is the most important. Don't think that just because you broke through to the Xiantian realm and became an inner disciple, you can sit back and relax. I can tell you clearly that if you're not careful, you, brat, come over here. Before the 2 of them finished speaking, a group of people walked over. There were about 10 of them. The one in the lead was a handsome young man in blue robes. However, he had a sissy look, giving off a flirtatious feeling. The person who spoke just now was one of the young men beside the flirtatious young man. He looked like a despicable person. Senior brother Qingyang, we still have matters to attend to, so we'll take our leave first. Qingyang waved his hand, not saying a word. Qingyang was the charming young man. The 2 of them seemed to be very afraid of Qingyang. They immediately turned and left. Before they left, they gave Black Wolf a meaningful look. Kane Unity Realm. In just an instant, Longao had already sensed the young man's strength. Are you calling me? F***CK, if he's not calling you, then is he calling a dog? Hearing this, Longao's face instantly turned cold. In a short while, the crowd had already arrived in front of Longao. Each and every one of them had an arrogant attitude, which made Longao's balls ache. Are you Black Wolf? How did the other party know about him? Although he was very curious, Longao still nodded. He had full confidence that even if the Violet Thunder Sect's master personally came here, he wouldn't be able to recognize him. That's right, I'm Black Wolf. Do you have any advice for me? Ha ha ha, advice? He-san's face was filled with disdain. Black Wolf, I heard that in order to enter the Violet Thunder Sect, you gave the two of them a treasure each. Is that true? So it was because of this. That's right, the two treasures are my family heirlooms. In order to enter the Violet Thunder Sect, I could only give them away. Senior brother Qingyang, the news I received is true. I even asked the two of them before this, but they still refused to admit it. How should we deal with them? Qingyang's expression was somewhat gloomy as he coldly said, How dare they lie to me? Cripple the two of them and take back the treasures. Remember, do this cleanly. If there's any trouble, I'll hold you responsible. Understood. He-san turned his head, staring at Longao as he coldly laughed. Black Wolf, since you can give away two treasures, if my guess is correct, you should have other treasures as well. Why don't you hand them all over? Was this really a disciple of the Violet Thunder Sect? Damn it, he was definitely a bandit from the Violet Thunder Sect. What he did was exactly what a bandit would do, openly snatching the treasures of his fellow disciples. Could it be that the Violet Thunder Sect didn't care? Longao was speechless with regards to the management of the Violet Thunder Sect. If this was the Dragon Sect, he wouldn't allow such a thing to happen no matter what. I'm sorry, my family only has these two treasures. There's nothing else. Is that so? He-san's face was extremely gloomy as he coldly laughed. Brat, if you are unwilling to hand over the treasures, according to the rules of the inner sect, you will have to crawl between our legs. If not, everyone laughed coldly. Although He-san didn't finish his words, the meaning of his words was very clear. A new inner sect disciple, if they wanted to kill him, it would be a simple matter. No matter which sect it was, they wouldn't meddle in other people's business. In other words, as long as they didn't go too far, no one would interfere. According to the principles of the martial heaven continent's sects, the strong preyed on the weak. If you didn't have enough power, you would only be slaughtered. Longao didn't want to create more problems. If he could endure it, he would. But that didn't mean that he would accept any humiliation. The people in front of him were obviously trying to humiliate him. Could it be that he had to endure it? Crawl? Or not? Longao didn't reply. Looking around, he discovered that there was no one around. Suddenly, Longao's body moved. This? Without waiting for everyone to react, he had already disappeared without a trace. According to Longao's current powerful strength, if he wanted to kill dozens of people, it was simply a matter of minutes. Even the slightest trace would not be left behind. You asked for it, don't blame others. After dealing with Qingyang, He-san, and the others, Longao calmly continued to be an inner sect disciple. However, in the following days, Longao didn't stay idle. As long as there was an opportunity, he would immediately take action. Just like that, 10 days passed quietly. Purple Thunder Hall. 10 whole days, another 10 whole days have passed. I just received a report that in these 10 days, more than 200 of our disciples have been assassinated. Among them, more than 50 of the great emperor's disciples, guardians, and supreme elders have been assassinated. At this rate, how long will it take? Yu Wuqian almost went berserk. Ever since the establishment of the Purple Thunder Sect, such a thing had never happened before. As the Grand Elder of the Purple Thunder Sect, how could he not be implicated? P.S. This is the first chapter. Tonight, at least 5 chapters will be released. Little 9, go back to sleep. Tomorrow, we will release another 5 chapters. Chapter 1490. Where did this person come from? As the master of the Violet Thunder sect, Yi Tianhua felt that he had lost all his face as a master of the Violet Thunder sect. If he didn't experience it himself, he wouldn't have believed it. Big brother master, this person is obviously provoking our Violet Thunder sect. He stood up angrily. You weren't, said coldly. Not only did this person assassinate our Violet Thunder sect's elders and protectors, he even placed them at the foot of the mountain. What is the meaning of this? What was the meaning of this? As long as one wasn't an idiot, they would understand what the other party meant. After assassinating them, he placed them at the foot of the Violet Thunder Mountain. Not only was this a provocation, it was complete contempt. The four of them couldn't think of anyone in the Tianwu continent other than the divine mathematician and the heavenly Tao. The four of them were full of confidence. Even the strongest person under the heavenly Tao wouldn't dare to do this. If I don't kill this person, I'm not human. Third brother, sit down. Big brother. Sit down. Seeing that his big brother was really angry, Yu Wuren didn't dare to say anything. He sat down obediently, but his face was still angry and gloomy. Master, are you still unable to confirm? Yu Wuren shook his head. Just as Yi Tianhua opened his mouth to speak, the four people's expressions changed. Then, their faces were filled with surprise. They stood up at the same time and bowed respectfully. Welcome back, great ancestor. In the next second, an old man appeared beside Yi Tianhua. He had a head full of long purple hair and was dressed in purple robes. Adding on his tall and sturdy figure, the old man looked like a bolt of lightning. The Violet Thunder ancestor, the founder of the Violet Thunder sect. 10,000 years ago, he was one of the top figures in the Tianwu continent. Just think about it, to be able to establish the Violet Thunder sect 10,000 years ago and become one of the top 10 sects, this in itself was enough to prove his strength. Old ancestor. He waved his hand. The Violet Thunder ancestor's face was indifferent as he said, I already know. The old ancestor knew. The four of them felt their hearts skip a beat. The four of them felt ashamed. After all, this kind of thing actually caused the old ancestor to personally come out of seclusion. The four of them didn't even know who the other party was. They have no face-to-face with the old ancestor. The other party is in our Violet Thunder sect. Huh! Upon hearing the old ancestor's words, the four of them were all taken aback. Never in their wildest dreams would they have imagined that Qin Wentian would be in the Violet Thunder sect, right under their noses. All along, the four of them had thought that the other party was in the Purple Thunder City. If this was really the Violet Thunder sect, wasn't this person too arrogant? He didn't even place the Violet Thunder sect in his eyes. As if he could see what the four of them were thinking, Ancestor Purple Thunder asked. You don't believe me? Yi Tianhua thought for a moment, and finally replied. Ancestor, it's not that we don't believe you, but it's a little hard to believe. Purple Thunder Ancestor nodded in agreement. No matter what, the four of them wouldn't believe it, no matter who it was. Is the body still here? Yes. Men, bring in all the corpses, Yi Tianhua ordered. He knew very well that just because the four of them were unable to lock onto the other party's aura, it did not mean that the great ancestor could not do the same. After all, the four of them knew the great ancestor's abilities best. Not long after, the disciples outside carried the corpses in one after another. After putting them down, everyone left obediently. Ancestor, is there any way to lock onto his aura? Let me try first. Purple Thunder Ancestor's aura suddenly erupted, enveloping all the corpses. The four of them did not dare to disturb him. Just like this, the entire Purple Thunder Great Hall fell into silence. Time flowed by bit. After an unknown amount of time, Purple Thunder Ancestor opened his eyes and sighed. This person's aura shows that he's only a God King. God King? The four of them were shocked. According to their guesses, the other party should be a peak God King at the very least, or even a Nirvana Realm cultivator. From the start to the end, they never thought that the other party was only a puny God King. The four of them did not doubt the great ancestor's words. After all, the great ancestor's strength and abilities were right there. Great ancestor, who exactly is he? The four of them couldn't wait to know who the other party was. For the time being, we can't lock onto his aura. The only thing we can be sure of is that he must be in the sect. But remember, don't act rashly and alert the enemy. Otherwise, once this person is alerted and leaves the sect, it will be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to find him. The four of them nodded in agreement. Yu Tian asked, Great ancestor, since it's like this, what should we do next? After tens of thousands of years of cultivation, my cultivation has already broken through to the peak of nirvana rebirth. The four of them were overjoyed when they heard that the old ancestor had made a breakthrough. They knew very well what the peak of nirvana rebirth meant. Out of the 5 stages of nirvana, the peak of nirvana rebirth meant that the old ancestor was truly standing at the peak of martial arts. He was only 1 step away from officially entering the peak of martial arts. In other words, with the old ancestor's current strength, unless it was the godly mathematician or the heavenly Tao, the old ancestor could do whatever he wanted. Congratulations, great ancestor, for the great increase in strength. The four of them were excited to the extreme. With the great ancestor's breakthrough, the Purple Thunder sect's status would also rise. Among the 10 great sects, the Purple Thunder sect's status could easily be ranked in the top 3. 10 great sects: Long Family, Dan Alliance, Martial Artists Alliance, Wanshou Sect, Heaven and Earth Sect, 5 Elements Sect, Wanzhan School, Sword Sect, Purple Thunder Sect, and Black Heaven Sect. All along, the Purple Thunder Sect had always been at the bottom. But now, it was different. Let's talk about the future later. The most important thing now is to deal with the other party. If there are no accidents, the other party will soon make his move. As long as I lock onto the aura of these corpses, when the time comes, I can lock onto his aura. This time, if he wants to leave, Great ancestor, even if we can lock onto the other party's aura, it's impossible to rush over in an instant. Regarding Yi Tianhua's intention, how could the Purple Thunder ancestor not know? He thought for a moment and said, When the time comes, I will borrow the power of the sect. This way, we can rush over in an instant. Things had already come to this point. It seemed that this was the only way. Remember, if you can lock onto his aura, no matter what, do not kill him. Great ancestor, why is that so? Very simple, a mere God King wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. Great ancestor, you mean to say that there's someone controlling this person from the back? Nodding his head, the Purple Thunder ancestor's eyes were cold as he continued. No matter who it is, if they dare to provoke my Purple Thunder sect, only death awaits them. P.S. I'll update 2 chapters first. Little 9, please hurry up. Chapter 1491. Longao didn't know about Purple Thunder Ancestor's arrival. This time around, Longao's purpose in entering the Violet Thunder sect was to give them a taste of their own medicine. Since the Purple Thunder sect was dealing with the Dragon Valley in the dark, he would deal with the Purple Thunder sect in the dark. An eye for an eye. Who exactly are you? Yi Yang, a God King realm cultivator, was also an elder of the Violet Thunder sect. Yi Yang could clearly feel that the young man in front of him had a murderous intent towards him, and it was a murderous intent. In the Violet Thunder sect, there was actually someone who wanted to deal with him? Is this true? It was a little hard to believe, but the other party was just a God King martial artist. Yi Yang was more or less relieved. You will definitely die today. You! Yi Yang was very wary of the other party because he knew very well that if the other party did not have full confidence, it would be impossible for him to do this. Caution is the parent of safety. Longao didn't continue talking nonsense because he didn't want to waste time. After all, under such circumstances, the longer he wasted time, the more disadvantageous it would be for him. Spatial teleportation. Not only that, but Longao also used his innate ability, Dragon Roar, as well as the 3 killing moves of his sure kill time technique. In the sane cultivation, Longao was a completely invincible existence. Borrowing the 3 kinds of divine ability secret arts, even insta-killing divine king martial artists was also a matter of minutes. If it were other divine king martial artists, Longao would virtually be the result of instantly killing them. But what was the result? Break! With a loud roar, Yi Yang forcefully broke free from Longao's stupefied gaze. Could a god king martial artist break through his time lock? Longao did not dare to be careless. He could not figure out how the other party did it. Emperor Dragon's 9 slaughter, Emperor Dragon's raging waves, Emperor Dragon's heaven burial, Emperor Dragon's strangulation, Emperor Dragon's dominance, Emperor Dragon's collapse, Emperor Dragon's meteor explosion, Emperor Dragon's heart devour, Emperor Dragon's devour, Emperor Dragon's skybreak. Punch after punch, the punches never stopped. Both of Longao's fists were like a violent storm, pounding towards Yi Yang from all directions. Fist shadows filled the sky. Yi Yang jumped in fright. He had never imagined that the other party would be so powerful. If it weren't for the sacred weapon in his hand, he would have been killed by the other party. Locking onto his body? Was this real? Not daring to be careless, Yi Yang retreated step by step. He knew very well that under such circumstances, if he made even the slightest mistake, the consequences would be unimaginable. The two of them were both divine king martial artists. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had already fought over a dozen rounds. The more he fought, the more surprised he became. Although Yi Yang was only a god king, his strength was something that even a god emperor could not defeat. Both of them released their divine domains at the same time. When they collided, Yi Yang's body was sent flying. In the end, it was still Longao's mysterious black divine domain that was powerful. It was not something that Yi Yang could contend against. Stop! Just as Longao was about to kill Yi Yang, a cold voice suddenly echoed between heaven and earth. A Nirvana rebirth martial artist? Who was this person? Could it be Purple Thunder Ancestor? Although the Purple Thunder sect had many Nirvana realm martial artists, there was only one Nirvana rebirth martial artist, and that was the founder of the Purple Thunder sect, the Purple Thunder Ancestor. If he had the Dragon Seal, he could definitely enter the Dragon Seal space. Unfortunately, the Dragon Seal had been left to his reincarnation avatar, and the reincarnation avatar was far away in the Sky Martial Forest. Even if he summoned the reincarnation avatar now, it would take at least 2 hours. Now that his aura had been locked onto, even if he used spatial teleportation, it would be hard for him to escape under such circumstances. Longao had never imagined that even though he was so secretive, he would still attract the attention of the Purple Thunder Ancestor. Moreover, the Purple Thunder Ancestor was able to lock onto his aura so quickly. In the end, Longao had never imagined that Yi Yang's strength would be so strong, able to withstand more than 10 of his moves. Let's kill Yi Yang first. Since his aura had been locked onto, Longao would not let the Purple Thunder sect off so easily. If he could kill as many as he could, it would be one. With spatial teleportation, Longao's body disappeared from the spot. You dare? Longao wanted to laugh. Things had already come to this point, what else did he not dare to do? Hanging by a thread. The firmament devouring art. A huge black vortex appeared behind Longao's back. Coupled with his sure kill temporal skill, even Yi Yang was locked onto. Under Yi Yang's shocked gaze, his body was ruthlessly smashed by Longao's fist. There was no doubt about the result. Yi Yang was killed, but Longao did not leave. Originally, he had planned to assassinate a few more people. Even if his identity was exposed, it would still be worth it. But who would have thought that he had already been locked onto? Since there was no way to escape, why bother? A few seconds later, the Purple Thunder Ancestor and the other 4 appeared at the same time. Looking at the corpses on the ground, their faces were gloomy to the extreme. The Purple Thunder Ancestor had already said you dare, yet the other party still killed Yi Yang without hesitation. What did this mean? The other party didn't even put the Purple Thunder ancestor in his eyes, disregarding the Purple Thunder sect. If they didn't kill this person, how could the Purple Thunder sect survive? Indeed, it was the Purple Thunder ancestor. Longao looked at the 5 people in front of him and guessed their identities. And precisely because of this, Longao was even more certain of one thing. The 10 old ancestors of the 10 directions hadn't died 10,000 years ago, but had hidden themselves. As for the reason why, no one knew. Who exactly are you? Seeing the other party's calm demeanor, the 5 of them were surprised. Could it be that the other party had something to rely on? Longao laughed. Things have already reached this point, there was no need for him to continue concealing the truth. He removed his disguise and revealed his true appearance as he smiled. Purple Thunder Ancestor, Sect Leader Yi, and the 3 elders, it's all thanks to the Violet Thunder sect that we're able to meet today. What did this mean? The 3rd elder Yi Warren suppressed his anger and sneered. You killed my grandson, you? Not waiting for Yi Warren to finish his words, Yi Tianhua seemed to have thought of something as he asked in shock. You are Longao? Longao? The young man in front of them was Longao? The 3 Purple Thunder elders, including the Purple Thunder ancestor, were all in disbelief because they all knew who Longao was. So Master Yi still recognizes me, it's my honor. Longao's face was indifferent, as though he didn't place the 5 of them in his eyes at all. The more he acted this way, the more the 5 of them felt uneasy. Could it be that Longao had something to rely on? Longao, there are no grudges between us, yet you repeatedly killed the people of my Purple Thunder sect. Do you think my Purple Thunder sect is so easy to bully? Yi Tianhua's voice was ice cold to the extreme. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never have imagined that the true culprit would be Longao. Unbelievable. Not only that, wasn't Longao's mission a little too big, too arrogant, daring to kill the people of the Violet Thunder sect in public? This was clearly a provocation to the Violet Thunder sect, not placing them in his eyes at all. If this matter were to spread out, the Violet Thunder sect would definitely lose all face. Chapter 1492. Bully your Violet Thunder sect? Longao laughed. Longao, your cultivation base is too arrogant. I'm arrogant? The Violet Thunder sect is truly shameless. Not giving the 5 a chance to speak, Longao continued. I already know what happened back then. Master Yi, you won't deny it, right? Yi Tianhua's heart was filled with shock because he didn't know how Longao knew about this matter. When they attacked the Dragon Valley, the Violet Thunder sect acted in secret. Even after the battle with the Sword sect, the Violet Thunder sect acted in secret. Since that was the case, how did Longao know about this? The Violet Thunder ancestor was very curious, turning his head to look at Yi Tianhua. He didn't dare to hide anything. Next, using his spiritual sense, Yi Tianhua recounted everything that happened, including the battle with the Sword sect, the arrival of the Divine Diviner, the Violet Thunder sect's actions against the Dragon Valley, and the killing of the Dragon sect's disciples. Endless rage burned in the Violet Thunder ancestor's heart. The Divine Diviner had already arrived, and was obviously biased towards Longao. Anyone could guess that the relationship between Longao and the Divine Diviner wasn't shallow. Even if the Violet Thunder sect didn't help Longao, they couldn't do anything. The Violet Thunder sect wouldn't put a single Longao in their eyes, but what about the Divine Diviner? Did they not put the Violet Thunder sect in their eyes? If the Divine Diviner wanted to destroy the Violet Thunder sect, he only needed to move his finger. Despite the endless rage in his heart, the Violet Thunder ancestor didn't act on the spot. No matter what, the matter had already happened. First, he had to deal with Longao. He absolutely couldn't allow Longao to do as he pleased. Longao, even if the Violet Thunder sect is in the wrong, you can't. He directly interrupted the Violet Thunder ancestor's words. Longao was very clear what the Violet Thunder ancestor was going to say next. He had seen too many shameless people, especially those who stood on the top of the 10 directions. They were many times more shameless than others. Violet Thunder Ancestor, it was your Violet Thunder sect that killed my Dragon sect's disciples first, and I killed your Violet Thunder sect's disciples after that. Longao was right. Purple Thunder Ancestor did not deny it, nor did he want to deny it. Among the 10 great ancestors, Purple Thunder Ancestor was considered to be the most straightforward and upright one. Purple Thunder Ancestor nodded in agreement. Longao hadn't expected Patriarch Purple Thunder to admit it so readily. If it were anyone else, not only would they not admit it, they would even fabricate a lot of excuses. Longao, you and I did nothing wrong. What do you mean? Longao was very curious. The Purple Thunder Ancestor was a very interesting person. What did it mean that neither side was wrong? Longao, if it were you, between you and the 10-directional cauldron, would you choose yourself or the 10-directional cauldron? Cauldron of 10 directions. To tell the truth, the strength of the 10-direction cauldron was there for all to see, while he was all alone. Given such a choice, no matter who it was, he believed that they would choose the 10-direction cauldron over him. Since you've chosen the 10-cardinal tripod, I'll do the same. Longao didn't say anything. Back then, when the 3 clans came to my Violet Thunder sect for help, although you had the agreement of a year with the Divine Diviner, no matter how you looked at it, you were always at a disadvantage. Longao still didn't say anything. It's not wrong for my sect to kill your Dragon sect's disciples, and it's also not wrong for you to assassinate my sect's protector. But the only mistake is that I've already locked onto your aura. Hence, regardless of your death or the fall of my Violet Thunder sect, it's all fate. Fate cannot be changed. Fate? Fate cannot be changed? The Purple Thunder Ancestor's words were very profound, because the fate he was talking about was an ethereal thing. Not to mention himself, even the Divine Diviner and the Heavenly Daos didn't know what fate was. Longao, I don't want to be enemies with you, but my sect has already made a mistake. What do you want? At the beginning, Longao had some admiration for the Purple Thunder Ancestor. Although they were enemies, his intuition told him that the Purple Thunder Ancestor wasn't like Long Tian and the others. Just like what the Purple Thunder Ancestor had said, the grudge had already been formed, and it was impossible to let it go just like that. Since this was the case, what should he do? Longao, I have an idea. I wonder if you're willing to give it a try. There's no harm in saying it. Seeing the Purple Thunder Ancestor and Longao being so calm, regardless of Yitianhua or the 3 elders, all of them found it hard to accept. According to the 4 people's previous thoughts, since the old ancestor had already locked onto Longao's aura, then with the powerful strength of their side, if the 5 of them joined forces, the chances of Longao surviving was almost 0. But what was the result? The Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't have the slightest intention to make a move, and since the Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't make a move, the 4 of them naturally didn't dare to make a move. After all, in the Purple Thunder sect, there was only one person in charge, and it wasn't Yiwutian or Yitianhua, but the Purple Thunder Ancestor. The 4 of them were extremely unhappy in their hearts, but they didn't dare to say anything. Especially Yuwurin. Whenever he thought of the fact that Longao was the culprit behind his grandson's death, Yuwurin had the urge to tear Longao apart. But still, if the Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't dare to make a move, none of them dared to make a move. Longao, to tell you the truth, I know nothing about what happened in the sect, including the grudge between you and the 3 elders. If I knew, the sect wouldn't have made a move against the Dragon sect. I believe you. With regards to the Purple Thunder Ancestor's words, Longao didn't have the slightest bit of doubt. Because things had already turned out this way, there was no need for the Purple Thunder Ancestor to lie to him. Even if he was afraid of the Divine Diviner's prestige, no matter what, the Purple Thunder Ancestor's strength was right there. There was no need for him to curry favor with him. However, Longao still couldn't figure it out. The grudge had already been formed, and it was a grudge of life and death. Since that was the case, why would the Purple Thunder Ancestor do this? Could it be that the Purple Thunder Ancestor was preparing for a truce? That was impossible. Even if the Purple Thunder Ancestor was willing, would the other four be willing? Even if the Purple Thunder sect was willing, Longao didn't dare to believe it. He had killed so many people consecutively, anyone would want to take revenge. As though he could guess what Longao was thinking, the Purple Thunder Ancestor continued. I've already said it earlier, either you nor I are in the wrong. What I want to say is, Longao, I'll give you a chance, and you should give the sect a chance as well. As long as you can reach the Purple Thunder Lake, the grudge between us will be written off. From now on, we don't owe each other anything. Even if the three elders come looking for trouble, I can guarantee that from today onwards, we won't help them in the slightest. Longao was somewhat surprised, because he didn't expect the Purple Thunder Ancestor to be like this. Although in his heart, Longao was very unhappy with the Purple Thunder sect for taking advantage of the situation, he had to admit that the Purple Thunder Ancestor was right. Based on his position, no matter what he did, it couldn't be considered wrong. There was nothing wrong with the Purple Thunder sect helping the three elders deal with the Dragon sect, and there was nothing wrong with him assassinating the disciples of the Purple Thunder sect for revenge. Since the Purple Thunder Ancestor was willing to resolve the grudge between them, there was no need for him to fight to the death. Chapter 1493. Fighting to the death was not beneficial to him and the Dragon sect. They were already fighting to the death with the three superpowers. Provoking another powerful enemy would only increase the trouble for him and the Dragon sect. No matter what. The Purple Thunder sect was one of the 10 pillars of the 10 directions. Even if they were not as strong as the three superpowers, they were not far off. Purple Thunder Lake? The four of them thought that the old ancestor would give up. Who would have thought that the old ancestor would come up with such a solution? Purple Thunder Lake, forbidden area of the Purple Thunder sect. Others might not know, but the four of them knew clearly. Only Nirvana Realm cultivators could casually enter the Purple Thunder Lake. For cultivators below the Nirvana Realm, wanting to reach the Purple Thunder Lake was akin to seeking death. The four of them laughed. In their opinion, it was impossible for Longao to reach the Purple Thunder Lake. If Longao agreed, he would die without a doubt. If Longao did not agree, the old ancestor would make a move. Similarly, he would die without a doubt. In other words, no matter if Longao agreed or not, he would die without a doubt. Without waiting for Longao to speak, the Purple Thunder Ancestor continued. Longao, the Purple Thunder Lake is a forbidden area of my Purple Thunder sect. Only Nirvana Realm cultivators can enter. Other cultivators have no way to reach it. F***ck, if that's the case, wouldn't he be dead for sure? Longao was curious because the Purple Thunder Ancestor was obviously trying to get on his good side. Whether it was because of his potential or because of the deterrence of the divine mathematician. Since the Purple Thunder Ancestor wanted to resolve this grudge, he wouldn't make things difficult for him. Was there something fishy going on? The four of you leave first. Old Ancestor. Hearing the old ancestor's words, the four of them were shocked. Once the four of them left, no one would know what was going on between the old ancestor and Longao. The four of them wanted to see Longao die with their own eyes. I know what I'm doing. Purple Thunder Ancestor said coldly, not bothering to speak any more nonsense. Even if the four of them were unwilling to leave, they didn't dare to go against the old ancestor's will. Helpless, the four of them could only turn and leave, disappearing from the spot. Longao, come with me. Longao increasingly felt that the Purple Thunder Ancestor did not have the slightest bit of malice towards him. More or less, he heaved a sigh of relief. Without the assistance of the Dragon Seal Space, it would be extremely difficult for him to deal with the Violet Thunder sect. However, Longao didn't regret it. Since it was his choice, he had to deal with everything. Without the slightest hesitation, Longao immediately followed. Violet Thunder Peak, halfway up the mountain, in a pavilion. The surrounding environment was elegant and very quiet. Because this pavilion was located at the Purple Thunder Ancestors' leisure place, ordinary people could not enter. Inside the pavilion, Longao and Purple Thunder Ancestor sat facing each other. The two of them did not look worried at all, but rather like a pair of old friends. Longao was also surprised by this feeling. Longao, I believe that you are already aware of the situation at the Purple Lightning Lake. It's up to you whether you want to go or not. Not giving Longao a chance to speak, the Purple Thunder Ancestor continued. Even if you don't choose to go to the Purple Lightning Lake, I do not intend to be your enemy. If it was someone else who dared to assassinate the elders and protectors of the Violet Thunder sect, the Purple Thunder Ancestor would definitely not let the matter rest. Even if it was the other 9 superpowers, he would still seek an explanation. Only Longao. The reason why the Purple Thunder Ancestor was unwilling to be Longao's enemy was because, firstly, Longao was able to cause such a ruckus in the 3 superpowers. Everything that happened before was already enough to show how much potential Longao had. Secondly, the deterrence of the Divine Mathematician. During the battle at the Sword Sect, the Divine Mathematician had sided with Longao. This was something that everyone knew. The Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't dare to gamble. If he lost, there would be great trouble. In fact, what the Purple Thunder Ancestor valued the most was Longao's potential. The deterrence of the Divine Mathematician was secondary. And because of this, the Purple Thunder Ancestor wasn't willing to be enemies with Longao. He would do everything in his power to protect Longao. Longao could already roughly guess what the Purple Thunder Ancestor was thinking. Although he still had some doubts in his heart, he chose to believe in the Purple Thunder Ancestor. Ancestor. Longao, you and I are friends, there is no need to call me Ancestor. If you don't mind, I am a few years older than you, you can call me Big Brother Yi, and I will call you Brother Long, how about it? F***CK wasn't the Purple Thunder Ancestor's goodwill a little too strong? But since the Purple Thunder Ancestor was already like this, how could he not agree? Since that's the case, I'll respectfully accept, Big Brother Yi. Ha ha, good. Brother Long, we feel like old friends at our first meeting. Don't worry, I'll do my best to help you in the future. With the help of the Violet Thunder sect, Longao could finally heave a sigh of relief. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that after killing so many people in the Violet Thunder sect this time around, the Purple Thunder Ancestor actually acted like this. Life was hard to predict. Big Brother Yi, I've already decided to head to the Violet Thunder Lake. The Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't seem surprised in the slightest, it was as if he had already guessed it. He smiled and continued. I believe Brother Long has already guessed it. Although the journey to the Violet Thunder Lake is filled with dangers, with only a slim chance of survival, Brother Long has already condensed the aura of heaven and earth. As long as you're careful, you'll be able to reach the Violet Thunder Lake. With regards to this point, Longao had already guessed it. Big Brother Yi, could it be that there's something fishy about the Violet Thunder Lake? The Purple Thunder Ancestor's countenance was extremely heavy. He helplessly continued. Brother Long, we feel like old friends at our first meeting. I won't hide it from you. As a Nirvana realm cultivator, regardless of whether it's comprehending the heavens and earth or undergoing nirvanic rebirth, do you know what's the most important thing to a Nirvana realm cultivator? Source energy. Longao didn't even think about it. Because as everyone knew, the most important thing to breaking through to the Nirvana realm was source energy. Once a Nirvana realm cultivator devoured source energy, they would be able to break through to the peak of the martial path, becoming an unrivaled existence in the Tianwu continent. Longao didn't know why the Purple Thunder Ancestor would suddenly ask such a question. Could it be that the Purple Thunder Lake was related to source energy? You're right. I believe you've already guessed it. Back then, I accidentally discovered the source energy in the Purple Thunder Lake, but I didn't dare to be careless. Thus, I established the Purple Thunder sect and immediately went into seclusion. After so many years, I thought I would be able to obtain the source energy, but who would have thought that after nearly 10,000 years, I still haven't succeeded? Just as expected. Longao was very clear that although all the source energy in the Tianwu continent had been sealed by the heavenly Das, there would always be fish that slipped through the net. The Purple Thunder Lake was one such fish. However, if the Purple Thunder ancestor wanted to obtain the source energy from the Purple Thunder Lake, it wouldn't be an easy matter. Otherwise, after 10,000 years, even with the Purple Thunder ancestor's tyrannical strength, he still hadn't succeeded in obtaining the source energy. Brother Long, if you can smoothly reach the Purple Thunder Lake, I would like you to help me obtain the source energy together. What do you think? Although he wasn't optimistic, Longao didn't refuse, because the Purple Thunder ancestor was a decent person. He said, "No problem, as long as I can do it, I will definitely not refuse. P.S. 5 chapters have been delivered, the remaining 5 will be delivered during the day." Chapter 1494. He chatted with the Purple Thunder ancestor for the entire night. The two of them drank until they were drunk. The next day, early in the morning, Longao left the pavilion and went to the back of the Purple Thunder Peak. It was a very secluded place. "Brother Long, I've already told you the location of the Purple Thunder Lake. Remember, don't force yourself. If you can't reach it, just return." He nodded. After a night of chatting, Longao truly regarded the Purple Thunder ancestor as a friend. Friend? If other people knew that Longao and Purple Thunder old ancestor could actually become friends, who knows if they would be scared silly. Longao was still alright. Although he had counterattacked a few times, he was still a god king. But what about the Purple Thunder ancestor? The Purple Thunder ancestor was already a super figure 10,000 years ago. Not only was he powerful, but he also founded the Purple Thunder sect. "Brother Yi, I'll leave first. Be careful." Longao didn't continue to hesitate. He took a step forward and disappeared. 10,000 years ago, the Purple Thunder ancestor used the power of heaven and earth to seal the Purple Thunder Lake in a space. However, only Nirvana Realm cultivators could reach the Purple Thunder Lake. Purple Thunder Hall. "Brother Master, do you think Longao can reach the Purple Thunder Lake?" The old ancestor didn't make a move against Longao. This was something that Yi Wuren never expected. The revenge of his grandson was right in front of him, but he couldn't do anything. He could only suppress the anger in his heart. He dared not speak out. "I also didn't expect the old ancestor to be like this." Yi Tianhua sighed helplessly. The old ancestor's deterrence was there. Whether it was the Great Elder or him, they couldn't make a decision. If they angered the old ancestor, they wouldn't even know how they died. "Old ancestor." Looking at the old ancestor who suddenly appeared, the three immediately stood up and bowed respectfully. "Sit." With an indifferent face, the Purple Thunder ancestor said calmly. "Third brother. Ancestor, do you have any orders?" Yi Wuren, who had just been chattering, immediately shut his mouth when he saw the ancestor. After all, those who knew the ancestor knew that he wouldn't get angry easily. Once he got angry, no one would be able to save him. "Third brother, from now on, the grudge between you and Longao is written off." "Ah?" Before the three of them could react, Patriarch Purple Thunder continued. "Not only Patriarch, but the grudges between the Dragon Sect and the Longao will also be written off. From now on, no matter who it is, no one is allowed to touch the Longao or the Dragon Sect. If I find out, I will kill them without mercy." After hearing the old ancestor's decision, the three of them were scared silly. Is this true? If it were any other matter, since Purple Thunder ancestor had already made a decision, then even if the four of them had 10,000 dissatisfaction and unwillingness in their hearts, they would still obediently obey. Only now. Especially Yi Wuren. "Ancestor, I have something to say, but I don't know if I should say it." Even without Yi Wuren's words, Purple Thunder ancestor had already guessed it. Seeing that the old ancestor didn't speak, Yi Wuren still said, Ancestor, Longao openly killed our Purple Thunder sect's disciple. This hatred has already been formed. If we don't cut the weeds and eliminate the roots, won't we be in trouble when Longao grows up? Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots? Purple Thunder Ancestor's voice was very indifferent, without the slightest hint of emotion. Yu Wuren seemed to want to say something, but was stopped by Yi Wutian's eyes. Is the old ancestor angry? Startled, he didn't dare to continue speaking. Yu Wuren was still very angry. Longao killed his grandson, but he couldn't take revenge. If this matter was spread out, where would his face go? Ancestor, Longao's success rate in going to the Purple Thunder Lake is less than 1%. Yu Wutian asked tentatively. The 4 people present were all Nirvana Realm experts. They knew very well how dangerous it was to go to the Purple Thunder Lake. Even if it was a Supreme God expert, if one could successfully reach the Purple Thunder Lake out of 10,000 people, it would be a blessing in disguise. However, there was only one thing that Yi Wutian was worried about, and that was if the great ancestor helped Longao. If that was the case, Longao would be able to reach the Purple Thunder Lake smoothly. Boss, I won't help Longao, his life depends on him. Hearing this, the 4 people finally felt relieved. As long as the old ancestor didn't help Longao, then the chances of Longao reaching the Purple Thunder Lake smoothly was almost 0. Longao is going to the Purple Thunder Lake, I won't help, but after this matter, as long as Longao can reach the Purple Thunder Lake smoothly, the grudge between us will be written off. The 4 people didn't believe that Longao could reach the Purple Thunder Lake, so they all nodded in agreement. The 4 of you are too muddle-headed. Please enlighten us, old ancestor. The 4 people's hearts skipped a beat. What did the old ancestor mean? Was the old ancestor really angry? During the Battle of the Sword Sect, the divine mathematician appeared and sided with Longao. This in itself shows that the relationship between Longao and the divine mathematician is not simple. Tian, have you ever thought that if you can't kill Longao and destroy the Dragon Sect, what will happen to my Purple Thunder Sect when they grow? Old Ancestor, the Martial Artists Alliance, the Long family, and the Wanshou Sect came to us together. If we don't deal with Longao and the Dragon Sect, wouldn't we be provoking the 3 of them? Between the 3 superpowers and Longao, if they had to choose, the 4 of them would choose the 3 superpowers without hesitation and not the Longao. Not to mention the 4 of them, no matter who it was, they would make the same choice. Because of this, the 4 of them didn't think that they had made the wrong choice. The Purple Thunder Ancestor also felt a deep sense of helplessness. If it was someone else, this choice wouldn't be wrong. Only the Longao was the biggest variable. I have already become friends with Longao. Without further ado, the Purple Thunder Ancestor's silhouette suddenly disappeared. The 4 of them looked at each other. A trace of shock could be seen in each other's eyes. What did the old ancestor mean? Become friends? Longao killed the disciples of the Purple Thunder Sect one after another, and even killed Yi Feng. According to normal circumstances, the old ancestor and the Purple Thunder Sect should be enemies with Longao. But what was the result? The 4 of them had never imagined that the old ancestor would become friends with Longao. This also meant that from now on, they couldn't continue to deal with Longao. Were they willing? Unwilling? Yu Wuren's heart was filled with endless unwillingness. If he didn't kill Longao, he wouldn't be a human anymore. But since the old ancestor had spoken, if he continued to deal with Longao, wouldn't that make him an enemy of the old ancestor? Big brother. Waving his hand, Yu Wutian stopped Yu Wuren and said, "This matter ends here. From now on, no matter who it is, no one is allowed to deal with Longao and the Dragon Sect. Those who violate this order will be killed without mercy. Third brother, that's all I've said. You're on your own now." Author's note: the 6th chapter has been delivered. I stayed up late last night and caught a cold in the morning. I just woke up after a day of sleep. The remaining 4 chapters will be written by Little Nine as soon as possible. Everyone, please forgive me. Those who have votes can vote for Longao. Little Nine thanks you. Chapter 1495. Uwuren was the only one left in the Purple Thunder Hall. His fists were clenched tightly, and his face was extremely gloomy. His enemy was right in front of him, but he couldn't take revenge. Anger. Unwillingness. Longao, even if the old ancestor protects you, I will tear you into pieces. Uwuren couldn't go against the old ancestor's wishes just for a grandson. However, if this matter wasn't resolved, he wouldn't be able to get over it. In a swamp, there was no one around. According to the information given by the Purple Thunder ancestor, it would take about 6 hours to get to the Purple Thunder Lake. Don't underestimate 6 hours. The journey was full of danger. If he was careless, he would immediately fall into an irrecoverable situation. Standing in the same place and looking at the swamp in front of him, Longao didn't dare to act rashly. Black fog lingered, and the aura spread out. Divine King Realm? At this moment, a series of surprised cries came from all around. Then, a gigantic monster the size of a small mountain appeared. Even the surrounding swamp began to tumble like boiling water. Mountain-cleaving bull, a divine beast at the peak of the Emperor God realm. The mountain-cleaving bull was placed in the Purple Thunder space by the Purple Thunder ancestor. It was to stop any warriors below the Nirvana realm. A divine beast at the peak of the Emperor God realm. Unless a Nirvana realm warrior came in person, even a divine beast at the peak of the Emperor God realm might not be a match for the divine beast. Who are you? Longao. Do you know that those below the Nirvana realm are not allowed to step into the Purple Thunder space? No warriors below the Nirvana realm were allowed to step into the Purple Thunder space. How could Longao not know this? Senior, please make way. Unless it was a last resort, Longao absolutely didn't want to fight to the death with the mountain-cleaving bull. Although Longao was very confident in his own strength, he was still very self-aware. With his current strength, even if he used his trump card, he might not be a match for the mountain-cleaving bull. He was determined to get the Purple Thunder Lake. Just you? Boy, I can make way, but you have to defeat me first. Okay. This battle was unavoidable. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to speak any more nonsense. Longao did not choose to be passive. Instead, he chose to take the initiative and attack. Using spatial teleportation, Longao's body suddenly disappeared. The mountain-cleaving bull's eyes narrowed. It hadn't expected Longao to suddenly disappear. However, this was still the swamp, the mountain-cleaving bull's territory. Confine! After releasing a level 4 divine domain, the mountain-cleaving bull possessed its own special ability, the spatial shackles. The main reason why the Purple Thunder ancestor chose the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull to guard the first stage of the Violet Thunder sect was because of the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's ability to seal space. With this ability alone, unless it was a Nirvana realm cultivator, no one would be able to defeat the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull. F***CK! He directly cursed. The Purple Thunder Patriarch had only told him about the dangers of going to the Purple Thunder Lake, but he hadn't told him that the mountain-cleaving bull had such a remarkable ability. Spatial Shackles was a martial skill that was slightly inferior to his innate ability, Dragon Roar. His innate ability, Dragon Roar, was a spatial lock that locked onto the enemy's body. As for his Surekill time technique, it changed the flow of time. The innate ability, Dragon Roar, was similar to the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's spatial shackles. However, Longao still didn't know which of the two abilities was stronger, and which was weaker. In front of the spatial shackles, spatial teleportation was practically useless. Longao's body appeared as he fiercely cursed in his heart. At this point, Longao was almost certain that the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull in front of him was a mutated divine beast. Because it was impossible for a normal mountain-cleaving barbaric bull to possess the spatial shackles ability. Brat, you're not bad. Longao didn't say anything because the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull wouldn't give way. Since that was the case, why should he speak any more nonsense? Innate ability, Dragon Roar. When the Dragon Roar resounded, the flow of time in the surroundings was sealed. It was similar to the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's spatial shackles ability. It was precisely because of this. The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's expression greatly changed because it never thought that the human in front of it would also possess the spatial shackles ability. Long family? The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull clearly knew about the Long family's innate abilities, especially the spatial shackles. It was a super innate ability that Long Tian had multiplied in the past. In this world, only Long Tian possessed such an ability. Could it be that the other party was Long Tian's reincarnation? Impossible. The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull didn't relax in the slightest and continued to use the spatial shackles to lock onto Longao's body. Once Longao was locked onto, he would become very passive and the consequences would be unimaginable. The spatial shackles and the innate ability, Dragon Roar, collided. If they were at the same level, it would be hard to say who was stronger. However, the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's cultivation was clearly much higher than Longao's. As a result, the power of the spatial shackles was far greater than the innate ability, Dragon Roar. The innate ability, Dragon Roar, couldn't contend against the spatial shackles. As for the time circle technique, Longao also didn't dare to use it. The reason was very simple. The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's cultivation was much higher than his. Once he forcefully used the time circle technique, the consequences would be obvious. Boom! In a moment of carelessness, Longao was fiercely struck by the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull. Bursts of pain came from his chest. Fortunately, he had the black tortoise battle armor protecting his body. Otherwise, just this one attack would have been enough to take his life. The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull seemed to be very shocked that it didn't die from this one attack. That was because it had absolute confidence in its own attack power. Looking at the unscathed youth in front of it, the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull was dumbfounded. Brat, just who are you? Why does the divine beast have the black tortoise battle armor? The mountain-cleaving barbaric bull had guessed it? Longao was very shocked, but he was very calm. He said, Senior, if you move aside, I can tell you everything you want to know. Brat, I am the guardian of the purple lightning space. Unless I die in battle, I will not move aside. Hearing the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull's words, Longao was not the slightest bit angry. Instead, he somewhat admired the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull before him. Only death in battle would it not move aside. If he were to bring the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull back to the sect, such a guardian would be the best choice. Longao inwardly smiled. After all, this matter was not very likely. Even if there was a chance, he wouldn't do it. No matter what, he and the purple lightning ancestor were friends. How could he casually take away a friend's things? He took a deep breath. Wanting to defeat the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull with his current strength was practically impossible. If he couldn't even pass the first trial of the purple lightning space, then how would he face the following dangers? Therefore, he had to defeat the mountain-cleaving barbaric bull and smoothly pass through this trial. Otherwise, everything would be for naught. P.S. Chapter 7 Delivery. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.